Very, very warm welcome to all of you, beautiful people. Thank you for choosing to spend a Sunday afternoon with us, listening to stories. Um, I hope you have grown up with stories, listening to them, reading to them. Stories have been a part of our civilizational culture. From the caves of Bhimbetka to the streets of today, we have always told stories everywhere. And for us, stories is a way of giving each other love. And that is the role storytellers play. So I welcome all the storytellers. The people who will be telling stories here are people who have been exploring and deepening their love for storytelling with us in a course called Teachers Telling Tales that has been going on for the last 3 months. And only now it is coming to a conclusion. And this is sort of that end, the graduation where today they go out in the world and spread their stories. So this sort of a celebration. And joining us in this celebration are also their families. I can notice their children, their pets, their parents and grandparents joining in the celebration. And they enjoy this time a lot because they get to see their parents nervous and scared and sweating and practicing, and they enjoy this moment a lot. And so I welcome all of you, the friends and families of all those who love stories. And let's get started with this evening. Let me introduce you to our hosts for the first part of today's session, Harsha and Rasika Preeti.
Thank you, Ankit. So, before we begin today, I want to introduce Harsha and request him to take us forward. He's an IT professional and a farmer by passion, a volunteer yoga teacher by choice, and a lifelong learner by mindset. So, he's here because he wants to impress his children with his storytelling ability. And today he's going to know if he's going to do a good job as well. So, over to you, Harsha.
Thank you, Rasika Preeti, and a very warm welcome to all of you and a happy Sunday. I also want to take this opportunity to introduce Rasika Preeti, who is a homeschooling mother of two kids. She's also an emotional wellness coach and a lifelong lover of stories. So she believes stories have the power to heal, to touch, and transform. For years, she's been sharing stories with children in her community, conducting happiness and emotional wellness workshops in schools, and helping those little young minds grow with empathy, resilience, and joy. Right. For centuries, people have gathered to share stories. Stories make us laugh, uh, they move us to tears, they spark our imagination, and sometimes even change the way we see the world. Tonight, we continue this beautiful tradition. This is not just a storytelling graduation event for us, it's a celebration of courage, creativity, and it helps us with the power of a well told story and how it can make a difference. So I invite all of you to listen with an open heart, travel into the different worlds that we wish to take you, meet all of those unforgettable characters, and of course, celebrate all our storytellers who take this stage. So, thank you so much for being here, and let's begin this evening of stories.
So, we're going to begin our storytelling journey today with a unique love story between a mountain and a love and a little bird called Joy. So, can a mountain fall in love? And if he does, what happens when the one it loves cannot stay with him? Let's find out.
There was once a bare stone mountain in the middle of a desert plain. It had hard slopes, so no plants could grow on it. No insects, no animals ever lived on this mountain. The tall mountain looked up at the sky all day. watching the billowing of clouds. It knew the movement of the sun during the day and the course of the moon by the night. The only sensation the mountain ever knew was the touch of rain and the chills of the wind, and it had never experienced anything else before. It stood there and just was there watching the desert for years and years. And in the night, it would just watch the sky and the whirling of the stars in the far off sky on a clear day. And this happened for years and years. One day, a little bird came and sat on the ledge of the mountain. It was preening its feathers. This was the first time the mountain felt the rough claws of the little bird and the smoothness and the warmness of its feathers. The mountain was amazed. It had never seen or experienced anything like this before. It asked the bird, "Who are you? What is your name?" "I'm a bird. My name is Joy. Each spring, I go looking for places to build my nest. After I rest here, I'll continue my journey." "Never seen anything like you. Do you have to go? Can you not stay?" "I've nothing to eat or drink here." "Will you come back again sometime?" Joy sat silent for a moment. No mountain ever cared whether I came or went. But you're the first one who is asking me this. So I shall come back in the spring, but only for a few hours. That would make me very happy, even if it's for a very few hours. You must know something. Mountains like you live forever. We birds don't. So there may be a very few springs that I might be able to come. That's sad. And it would be even sadder to know that you might fly away and never come back again. Joy was still. She was quiet. And then he sang a beautiful bell-like song. The mountain was astonished. It had never heard a song like this before. And then Joy made a promise. "I shall come to you every year, greet to you, and sing to you." The mountain was shocked. How can Joy come every year? He must be thinking how it's possible. But I will come. I will have a daughter, and I will name her Joy. I'll tell her where to find you. She will have another daughter who will be named Joy. So each Joy will have a daughter Joy, and I shall come to you every spring to meet you, to greet you, and to sing to you. Until next spring, goodbye. And Joy flew across the horizon. The mountain stood watching until Joy disappeared to distance.
Year after year, Joy flew to the mountain and she sang, "I am Joy, and I have come to greet you." And she would sing to the mountain and fly in circles above it. And for those few hours, time stood still. At the end of every visit, the mountain always asked, "Can you not stay?" And Joy always replied, "No, but I will return next year." 99 springs passed this way. On the 100th spring, The mountain asked again, "Can you not stay?" And Joy once again replied, "No, but I will come again next year." Every year it was becoming harder and harder for the mountain to see her fly away like this. It broke his heart more and more until one day the hard stone cracked. And this time the mountain started weeping. Tears flowed down and it was gushing and on and on. Next spring, when Joy came, this time the mountain did not ask his question. Joy sang to him, spoke to him, but the mountain was just weeping and weeping and weeping. Joy silently whispered, "I will come again next year," and she flew away. Next spring, when Joy returned, she was carrying a small seed in her beak, and she carefully tucked it in a corner by the stream, which was safe so the seed can stay moistened and not flow by the river that was flowing. Every year she kept bringing one tiny seed. Every year the mountain was slowly and slowly changing. But he was too blind to see any of the changes. He was just weeping and weeping, drowning in his sorrow. Slowly, slowly, as the years passed by, lot of plants started growing on the mountainside. And meanwhile, the roots from the very first tree that was planted started going deeper into the heart of the mountain. And its gentle finger like roots started filling up the cracks of the heart, and they were healing and just filling it up for him. And then the mountain suddenly noticed, and he was so surprised. The tears of sorrow now became the tears of joy, and they started laughing down its side. When the mountain looked at so many changes that had happened, moss grew on the sheltered corners. There were grass, there were flowers, and there were insects that were blown over by the wind that scurried over the leaves. And animals from beyond the horizon started coming on the slope and feeding on it. This gave the mountain so much hope that he opened his heart and made sure the roots are strengthened. And he just allowed more and more water to flow to nourish the mountain. And he had so much hope this time when Joy came the next spring. Once again, he asked the same question: "Can you not stay?" Joy did not reply anything. She simply flew to the tallest tree. This was the tree planted from the very first seed that was planted on the mountain. She carefully placed a twig on the safest branch, and she sang to his old friend, "I am Joy, and I have come to stay." Thank you.
Thank you for getting us started on this beautiful, beautiful, lovely note, Rasika, Preeti, and Harsha. Let's take a moment and anything that you want to speak, it's your moment.
Well, I'm a person, if I try to narrate stories to my kids, they run away from me. They don't even listen to me. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity, especially to Rasika Preeti, who had the story in mind. When I heard it for the first time, it really touched me. But I was not sure if I can do justice to the story because she's such a good narrator. So this is my little attempt, but lots of credit to her to help me through this journey. And of course, Ankit, you are something out of this world. Thank you so much for all my peers as well.
Thank you, Harsha. And have you told this story to your children yet?
The moment I start the story, they run away from me now because I've heard it so many times, so many times. And they know the lines better than me.
You will have to ask them, can you not stay? Okay. How do you feel, Rasika, Preeti?
So this was the story that piqued my interest in the whole art of storytelling as it is. And I heard it 10 years ago from a friend who had done a storytelling course somewhere, and he shared it with me, and I was like, wow, that's some way of sharing story, and I wanted to learn it. And it makes me very happy that in a way I'm completing a full circle with the same story. So thank you very much for encouraging me to keep this story, because I was almost going to drop it, because I'm so no, this is very close to my heart. So thank you, and I'm very happy to have Harsha as a partner, because he brought that mountain-like groundedness to the story, and it all turned out so well. Thank you, Ankit, and everybody who were encouraging. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad that you both are taking this evening forward as hosts as well. So take a deep breath and now make room for a train that is coming from a long distance.
Yes,
Harsha,
so I
Rasika
would
Priti,
love
tell us
to
about it.
invite Ayushi and Iker for sharing this story with us. So Iker is a maths teacher, and he's also a perfectionist, like he shared. What he has written is just another fool on the ship of all these fools that are here. And he's a story lover, story enthusiast. And Ayushi, she's a software engineer by the day and a creator by night. And she's learning storytelling to bring magic through stories, especially to her kids. So over to both of you for the little train engine that could. Thank you.
The little train rumbled to the tracks. She was a happy train. She was carrying all these wonderful things. They were for the children who lived over the mountains. There were toy animals, a giraffe with the longest neck, and a teddy bear with no neck at all. And then there were dolls, dolls with beautiful eyes and colored hairs, and the funniest clown you could ever imagine. But this was not all. Her train was filled with delicious food, the juiciest watermelons and the sweetest mangoes and chocolate filled pastry for dessert. The train puffed along merrily when, when all of a sudden she halted with a jerk. She couldn't move an inch. No matter how much she tried, the wheels won't turn. What would the boys and girls eat, and what would they play with now? Cried the little train. Look, there's a shiny new engine coming. Maybe she will help us, said the funny clown. Oh, dear shiny new engine, would you please help us take our train over the mountain? The little children are waiting for us. I am a shiny new engine. I only carry passenger trains with diners and coaches and sleepers. I carry the likes of you? Never. And off he went. The little engine and the toy animals and dolls were all sad. The shiny new engine is not the only one. Maybe we'll find someone else to help us. But look, there's a big strong engine coming in. Maybe he will help us. Oh, dear big strong engine, would you please help us take our train over the mountain? The little children are waiting for us. I am a big strong engine. I only carry important machineries which is used by grown-ups. They are used to print paper and read by adults. I carry the likes of you? Never. And off he went.
As the big strong engine left, all their passengers were feeling the urgency of reaching the other side of the mountain. Cheer up, said the clown. The big strong engine is not the only engine in the world. Look, there comes another engine. It looks a little bit old and tired, but perhaps he can help us. Our train is very little. So he waved the flag, and the old engine stopped close to them. What can I do What can I do for you, my friends? Said the old engine. All the toys and clowns jumped from where they were and went like, please, please, will you help us? We need to get to the other side of the mountain. There are some children waiting for us. The old engine said calmly with compassionate eyes, I'm sorry. I wish I could help you, but unfortunately, I'm very old and tired. Even if I wanted to, I cannot, I cannot, I cannot. And the old engine continued his way, saying, I cannot, I cannot, I cannot. As the old engine was getting lost in the horizon, all the hopes of the toys and dolls started to fade away. Suddenly, they heard a noise in the other side. They looked and they could see a very little blue engine. This very little blue engine didn't seem very strong, but maybe it was their last chance. So the clown waved the flag again, and the little blue engine stopped close to them. She asked kindly, hello, my friends, can I do something for you? The clown asked her, please, we need to get to the other side of the mountain. There are boys and girls waiting for us, and we are giving some gifts to them. So please, would you help us? The little blue engine thought about it and said, I wish I could help you, but I'm not very strong. I usually work switching trains on the yard. As she said this, she realized about all the children that were waiting for those gifts, and she said, hmm, maybe I can try to do it. No, maybe I can do it. Yes, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. So she hitched to the other train and started going up, up, up in the mountain, and faster and faster and faster, thinking, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Lordezake, lordezake, lordezake. Zuk ez etxi ez erengatik, arazoek ez aitzala beldurtu. Zuk ez etxi ez erengatik, betik hementxu hausart aurrera zuek, nahi duenak den aldu. Irabazteko behar da saiatu, garaipenaren pozaz beti alai. Ez ibai eta ez mendi ez dira oztopo, garaipenaren pozaz beti alai, beti alai. Neketa lanen ondoren garaipena daukagu zai. And they reached the top of the mountain, singing and dancing. All the passengers were really happy because they could complete their mission. Hurrah! Hurrah! We made it! And all it's thanks to you, little blue engine. Thank you very much for what you have done. And the little blue engine, feeling very grateful for everything that was happening, said to herself, I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could.
Whoa! Fantastic. And I know we all can if we want to now. Thank you, Ikir. Thank you, Arshi, for the wonderful story narration. How does it feel now?
Now I feel I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could.
How's your journey, Arshi?
Yeah, I think I would just want to thank Ike for bringing the little engine finally over to the mountain and doing the story with me. I think when I joined this course, I thought I'll learn about storytelling, but I think from Ankit, it is also going to influence my way of living as well. So thank you so much for teaching us that. And then also I'm going to carry along with me this wonderful group of people who care so much. So I'm like really grateful for that as well. And of course, want to thank my family and my who helped me through this course, because I took this when I was just barely became a mom. Like, so doing this alongside was challenging, but I'm so happy to reach here. To reach here, yeah.
And thank you, Aisha. I just also want to acknowledge that you're waking up 3 in the morning to do this. She's joining us from US, and matching with the timelines of India has been so challenging for us. And she's been very consistent with all the practice, with all the learning. So thank you. And so is Iker. Iker is joining us from Basque region of Spain. And Iker, this is not even your first, second language. How was it to tell a story in English?
It was challenging. Now I'm happy that I could make it, but these days I was quite nervous about it. More about the language than speaking in front of people, but thank you very much. Also, I want to thanks to Aman and Garima, the friends that recommend me coming here. Also, Ankit, thank you very much. It was a lovely journey. And Ayushi, also thank you for discovering this story, because for me it was like a really, really nice surprise. And thank you to all the people that participate in the journey and also today. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. I remember the moment when we were suggesting many stories to Iker, and the moment he heard this story, he stuck to it, and he just didn't move on from this story to pick any other story, and he got so greedy with this story and so passionate about this story, and now we can see why. So thank you so much, Iker, for sticking with this story, for choosing this story, and bringing this to life today. Thank you so much.
Not
Thank
only
you.
will he pick a good story for himself, but when he heard the story that I narrated, he heard it before me and he suggested that I should narrate the story. So he had a good eye to tell who can narrate which story better. Thank you, Iker. Thank you, Ayushi. From the train journey, we will now move towards a little school. Our next presenter is Atira. She's an educator with interests in experimenting in education. And if you meet her and if you talk to her, if you see her nodding her head, that means she's not in agreement with you. It means that she doesn't agree with you. So be very careful when you're having a conversation with her. She will take us to a school and tell us why these little boys are always late to school. Over to you, Atira.
Once there was a teacher called Anna. She lived in a snowy part of the world. She loved children, and children loved her too. There was this shy little boy in her class who always came late in the morning. And to whatever she asked with him, he kept repeating the same thing: winter oak. What is so special with this winter oak? Anna really wanted to know. And she decided to visit Saushkin's mother once. So one day, after the class, together they set out to Saushkin's home. And they crossed the school grounds to enter the woods behind that. And once they were inside the forest, it was a completely different world. A world full of peace, quiet, and calm. The grass, the bushes, and the canopies of trees, all of it covered with layers of snow. There were water streams around, and Anna noticed that some of them are clearly visible under few layers of ice. Together, they walked towards a vast clearance where sunlight flooded so much. At the center of this clearance stood a magnificent oak tree with so many branches spreading out in all possible directions. And from the tip to the toe, the tree was covered with snow. And Anna gasped, "Oh, the winter oak!" And happily, Saushkin walked towards the tree. Once they were beneath the tree, he took out a little bit of mud from between the roots, and Anna was looking inside. Some dried leaves were stuck onto a thorny stuff, and it was a hedgehog. And there were many other little creatures living in the tree: a frog, a snake, a squirrel, and so many different insects. Beneath this magnificent oak tree, Anna was the student and Saushkin was the teacher. And he showed his wonderful world around to her. Meanwhile, Anna thought this to herself: I always considered myself as a very skilled teacher. But see, here I am, a few moments into the forest, and now I want to spend a lifetime here exploring. And she decided not to meet with Saushkin's mother. Saushkin, thank you so much for this walk. It was so beautiful. But I think I am not going to meet your mother today. Anyway, we are late for that actually. So I'll take my leave now and let's see each other tomorrow. She turned back and walked towards the school. She went ahead for a while and then she stopped to take that one last glance at the oak tree. And then there it was, gleaming under the setting sunlight, a little bit of yellow, orange, and a tinge of pink, all shiny and bright. And Anna realized something. The most enchanting thing in this forest is not this winter oak, but the little man who is standing beneath the tree. And with a newly found wonder and amazement, Anna walked back towards the school.
Beautiful, Atira. Thank you so much for taking us to the oak tree. That was such a beautiful and inspiring story. Tell us about it. Tell us how was your journey?
Thank you so much for listening. I think I did better than I expected me to do. And all the credits is to Hima and Ankit. Like I actually quit doing. I thought I will not do. I'll just watch everyone's performance. And then in this week only, like I was like, no, I want to do it. I can't quit at the very last moment. So then, for building the confidence and for making me want to do the story, uh, to both of them and to all of you, thank you so much. And I think from the beginning, I had this story in my mind. And when he said like you have to choose one, it was kind of a definite that I'll do this one. So thank you so much for listening, and it was lovely to spend this whole course 2 3 months with you all.
Thank you, Athira, for also choosing this story. This story comes from Russia, and it tells us that what kind of ways in which grown-ups can see the world. इस कहानी में एक टीचर है और एक बच्चा है जो हमेशा स्कूल लेट आता है। तो जब टीचर ये पता करने के लिए उसके घर के पास जाती है कि वो क्यों लेट हो जाता है, उन्हें ये प्यारा सा पेड़ दिखता है और एक पेड़ जहां पर ये बच्चा खो जाता है, घंटों वहां बिताता है। इतनी प्यारी कहानियां आपको हिंदी में माहेश्वता देवी जी की लिखी हुई कहानियां भी मिल सकती है। और रशियन शॉर्ट स्टोरीज में आपको नेचर के प्रति, बच्चों के प्रति बहुत सारा प्यार दिखेगा। इसी तरह से जो पर्शियन फिल्म्स हैं वहां पे भी आपको जिंदगी को बच्चों के नजरिए से देखने का बहुत ज्यादा मौका मिलेगा। तो शुक्रिया इस पूरी दुनिया से हमें मिलाने के लिए अथिरा. Thank you so much for the work you do as a teacher and for bringing this lovely Russian short story. Thank you, Athira.
Beautiful. So with that, has it ever happened to you that there is a long-standing feud that must have started with a small misunderstanding and nobody took time to fix this? So today we have Mansi, who is wearing a lot of hats on her. She's an author, she's a voice artist, she's spoken English trainer, and she has a deep love for stories, which has brought her here. And we also have Sanika, who we are glad because this journey for her is a journey of courage from the other side of the stage to this side. And we are glad she is here to prove that courage is the most important thing. And they are taking us to the magical kingdom of Kishkinda. So over to you, Sanika and Mansi.
Have you ever been in a relationship where you deeply respected the other person, but they never really reciprocated it? The relationship between Bali and Sugriv was exactly the same. Bali, the strongest king Kishkinda had ever known. When he walked, even the earth seemed to shake. And right beside him was his younger brother, Sugriv. Sugriv looked up to his older brother with blind and unquestioning loyalty. You could say the very ground Bali walked upon, Sugriv worshipped. One midnight, a terrible demon named Mayavi stood right at the gates of Kishkinda and roared a challenge directly at Bali. बाहर निकल बाली, तेरी ताकत का गुरूर आज मैं मिट्टी में मिला दूंगा. Now, a wise king might have waited till the dawn. But Bali, maybe Bali's ego was much bigger than his strength. He got furious and he stormed right into the dark and followed the demon. And right behind him was his younger brother, his loyal shadow, Sugriv. No questions asked, he just followed. Mayavi fled into the dark cave. Bali stopped at the entrance, looked at Sugriv and said, "You wait right here. I will not come back until he is dead." And he vanished into the dark. And thus began the longest wait of Sugriv's life. Days turned into weeks, weeks to months. The seasons turned. First the rain, then the freezing winters, then the dry summers. Before he knew, a year had passed. But Sugriv was right there, waiting for his brother. And the silence was maddening. What is happening to Bali? Is he all right? Has something terrible happened to him? Then, suddenly, the silence broke. A roar echoed from the cave, followed by a thick river of blood. Sugriv's heart stopped. His invincible brother was dead, and the truth was undeniable for him. Driven by grief and a sense to protect his kingdom from Mayavi, he pushed the massive boulder across the cave to seal it forever. He dragged himself back to his kingdom, completely shattered. But a kingdom needs a king. The ministers begged Sugriv to take the empty throne, and thus, with a heavy heart, Sugriv accepted the crown. Sugriv has become the king. But little did he know, behind that stone-cold cave, Bali was very much alive. And in that dark cave, a brother's love was turning into venomous hatred. Bali survived the dark. He killed Mayavi, broke the boulder, and stormed back to his palace. And what did he see? Sugriv, his little brother, sitting on his throne, wearing his crown. Brother, wait, the blood. I thought you were dead. You? You sealed the cave to steal my crown? Bali's massive ego had no room for the truth. He banished Sugriv from the kingdom and kept his wife for himself.
Sugriv felt helpless. He looked at his wife Roma. She was shocked and frozen. He looked at Hanuman, his only supporter, and together they walked into the deep, dense forest. For days, Sugriv was shattered. Then he walked into Ram and Lakshman and invited them to his hideout. Together, they exchanged stories about Sugriv's exile and Sita's abduction. They promised each other to help them get their wives back. At this point, Sugriv revealed to Ram about Bali's boon. Every time Bali got into a battle, half of the opponent's strength was transferred to him. Ram now promised Sugriv to get to Bali by an ambush. With renewed strength, Sugriv marched towards the kingdom of Kishikinda and roared, "Bali, you coward, come out and fight me!" The entire kingdom of Kishikinda shook. Bali had been resting peacefully with his wife Tara, unaware of his brother's intentions. When he heard this voice, he was furious. "I am going to kill that traitor." And with that, he rushed out, and the two brothers engaged into one of the most fierce battles of all times. Sugriv uprooted the trees and threw them at Bali. Bali threw boulders at Sugriv. The entire earth shook. But slowly and steadily, Bali's strength started amplifying. But Sugriv fought. And he fought, and he fought, and he fought, and he fought some more. Until he couldn't. And he ran. He ran back to his cave to save his life. Back in the cave, he looked at Ram. "Why? Why did you do this to me? I could have died. You betrayed me." "Calm down, Sugriv. I was right there, hiding behind the tree with my bow and arrow ready. But in the battlefield, you both brothers looked so identical, I could not identify who was who. One wrong move, and I could have killed you. Here, take this garland. This will help me identify you. Now go, challenge your brother once more." With renewed strength in his heart, Sugriv once again marched towards the kingdom of Kishikinda and challenged his brother. "My poor little brother, you don't understand, do you? I'm going to kill you." And with that, Bali was about to kill Sugriv when an arrow hit him in his chest and he fell. Suddenly, Ram walked from behind the tree that he had been hiding. "Ram, is that you? Why did you do this to me?" "You took your brother's wife while he was still alive. She was like a daughter-in-law to you. Justice has been restored." These words hurt Bali more than any arrow ever could. My dear brother, please, please forgive me. Sugriv, the kingdom is yours. Please, please take care of my wife Tara and my son. Please make sure he doesn't turn up like me. And that is the end of Bali's tale.
Whoa, we were absolutely glued and engaged and listening to all of it you were saying, and was so involved in it. Fascinating narration. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sanika, and thank you so much, Mansi, for narrating this well-known story, but in your own way, in such with such grace. Totally glued to it. Thank you so much. How did you find this journey of Vali and Sugriv into this session?
Yeah. So I am literally shaking right now. Uh, I could feel, the fear came out while during Sugriv's dialogues. But I was going to perform this story with Vasudha iske pehle. She couldn't because of some issues. So that's how I got to know about this story, and I think I loved Sugriv now. I can relate to him very much. So yeah, and thank you so much, Mansi, for because Mansi joined very last minute, 2 days ago, and she did absolutely an amazing job. So I'm so grateful for her and my friends, because the whole week I couldn't give much of attention to practicing. I have been busy. I am in Delhi, so it's been emotionally heavy as well. But पिछले 1 घंटे में मैंने I tried doing whatever I could. So yeah, it's all very fresh. And yeah, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here.
Mansi.
Thank you so much. I hope I have done justice to Vasudhaji's vision, because it was she who found the story initially. I joined very last minute, as Sanika just mentioned. And thank you so much to Sanika also. Most importantly, thank you so much to Ankit, who believed in me and who encouraged me. He was like, no, you can do it, even though it was very last moment. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for pitching in, Mansi. So I just want to acknowledge Vasudha, if you're listening to us right now, or maybe months from now when you'll actually get time to listen to this story, just want to thank you for all the love that you've given to this story. So Vasudha loved this story of Vali ever since she was young, and she prepared this story. But just this week, she had some medical emergency at her home, which made her withdraw from this story, and it was very painful for her to let go of this story. But even when she was dealing with medical emergency at home, she was thinking of Sanika, and she was like, even though I can't, but I want this story to be told. And even in that moment when she's dealing with the medical emergency, she was thinking of the story. She was thinking of Sanika. That's how much generous she is. And of course, that we requested Mansi to pitch in, and Mansi, without a second thought, really picked up the story. And from her narration, you might realize it's not even visible that she just picked up the story, a few hours back, maybe like 40, 50 hours back. Uh, so thank you, Mansi and Sanika and Vasudha. And also thank you for the spirit that you have brought, where we care for each other to this extent and we care for the story. So thank you so much, Mansi. Thank you so much, Sanika. Despite all of your presence, wherever you are, you have been able to give time to story and you have held it together. Thank you so much, Sanika and Mansi.
Yes, yes. Thank you. And we now go across the oceans from Indian mythology to Greek mythology. You all know Achilles' heel and his invisible prowess, but What about his life before famed uh, paled? And when the world feels for him, who does he feel for? Let's find out from our next narrators, Disha and Rushali. Disha is a teacher by choice, feels grateful for having found her true calling in teaching. She loves the company of little children, loves their energy and their sense of wonder. Currently, she juggles between being a mother to a toddler and continues to work at school. And between all of this, she still makes time to read and to dream. Along with Disha is Rushali. Rushali is an art connoisseur who loves stories and enjoys storytelling. She's also a trained Kathak dancer and writes poetry when she gets time. So, all yours, Rushali and Disha.
Long, long ago, there was a big kingdom of Thea. There was a prince whose name was Achilles. He was born to King Peleus and sea goddess Thetis. It was prophesied by many that he would achieve great fame and glory, but at a cost of a very short life. In a kingdom far away, there was another prince who had a dark past. He had killed a child accidentally during a quarrel. He was quite guilty and very uncertain of his future. And in that state, he was sent to Peleus' court, where he meets Achilles. Achilles and Patroclus were very different from each other. Patroclus, this prince from that faraway kingdom, Achilles was brilliant, fearless, and he had a destiny to follow. Patroclus was kind, gentle, compassionate. They trained under the centaur named Chiron, where they dreamed of going to adventures beyond the mountains. They dreamed of bringing the world to its feet. And then the chance to go to war came when Helen of Sparta was taken away by Troy. Kings from all over the Greece gathered together to wage war against Troy. Achilles had the prophecy in mind, but he chose to go, and Patroclus followed him. For 10 years, they fought together. Achilles was terror of the battlefield. He slew every warrior that came his way. And Patroclus, on the other hand, tended, battled, and he always reminded Achilles that compassion is greater than any war. Then pride divided the Greeks. This great commander of the Greek army was so jealous of Achilles that he stole his prized war possession. Achilles was so angry that he withdrew from the war. Patroclus couldn't see his companions die. He begged Achilles to lend him his shining armor. Trojans think you have returned, Achilles. It may save our people. Achilles was not convinced, but he agreed. Chase them away from the ships, but I warn you, do not chase the people of Troy to the walls of Troy. Patroclus wore the shining armor of Achilles and went into the battlefield. He killed and killed and killed, as if he manifested Achilles' fury himself. And in that moment of passion, he forgot the very advice that Achilles gave him and chased the people of Troy to the walls of Troy.
And so Patroclus marched to the walls of Troy feeling invincible. wearing Achilles' armor. He fought, he fought, he fought until he met with his arch nemesis, the mightiest of mighty, Prince Hector of Troy himself. He fought valiantly with him, but he stood no chance. And so deep into the battle, Hector overpowered him and drove his spear into his chest and struck him dead. When the dreadful news reached Achilles' ears, his fury knew no bound. He slithered in the fires of agony and grief and swore to the gods above that he would wreak havoc upon the city of Troy and slaughter every Trojan that came his way. And the first man to do so was Hector himself. Like an enraged lion, he ripped his body apart and dragged it into his very den, thinking that killing Hector would heal his aching heart. But it was to no avail. In the meantime, deathly silence had fallen upon the city of Troy, and there lay Priam, Hector's father, crestfallen and shattered. Throwing away his king's pride and ego, he decided to plead to Achilles to retrieve his son's body back. And so, in the thick blanket of night, he snuck into Achilles' camp and saw him like a grieving shadow. And so he spoke with a quivering and heavy heart. O Achilles, the world knows you as the mightiest and most powerful warrior upon earth. But very few know you of your gentle and kind soul. In grief, we sail the same boat, so I beseech you to not deprive me of seeing my son. I plead you to give me his body back. Seeing him speak, Achilles felt kindness for the very first time. And so reaching out to Priam with his trembling hand, he spoke in a gentle voice. Forgive me, Priam, for what I've done to your son in my maddening agony. I now feel one in pain and grief with you. Do you know, Patroclus always spoke highly of kindness, and I could never experience it until now. But he's no more to see that. He's no more to see his friend become better, kinder. Take away your son and give it its proper burial and honor that he deserves, for he fought bravely. But would you kneel down in mourning to pray for the lost lives, the lives that we loved dearly, the lives that transformed us better even when they are gone? Thank you.
Beautiful. So beautiful, Disha and Rishali. Thank you so much for bringing this story to us. Tell us about it. How was your journey? Rishali? Disha?
I just love Greek mythology, like anything. Like I am a tragic puglim. I love tragic stories, and what better stories to present than Greek tragedies. And I thank Disha for joining me, because I think she made the story a lot better. I mean, the dialogues that she added and everything that she put in, and the efforts that she pitched in, despite being so busy. I mean, hats off to her, and thank you so much for that. And also, like, I don't know, this journey and this story will always be special to me, like my first performance ever. So
Yeah, I'm very grateful to Rishali, as Ankit says, that you don't choose a story, that story chooses you. So in my case, it happened exactly like that. I mean, uh, Ankit would be a great witness to the fact that I have been very, my week and my time has been very occupied with the new school that I had joined, and I didn't really know if I could be, if I would be able to do justice to the story. क्योंकि एक perfectionist होता है आपके दिमाग में, and it keeps telling you कि okay, ये तो finish नहीं है, आपने justice नहीं किया है. मैं पढ़ाती बच्चों को ये हूँ कि चलो हो जाएगा, बट जब अपने पे आती है तो लगा कि भाई पूरा एकदम 100% होना चाहिए, otherwise just don't do it. So I think I'm very grateful to this platform, to Rushali, for being so patient and so accommodating. I mean, this is collaboration at its best. I would say that we had our unique personalities and we tried to kind of, stay true to it, and while at the same time do justice to the story. So thank you so much. And I will just tell you one thing, that when I have been, when I was practicing for this, and I would, speak my lines out, my daughter would really laugh out loud at this line when I would say, he fought, and she would laugh out loud and say, what? She would repeat those lines. So what else could I, want from storytelling, from this platform? Because my daughter is learning that, and that is exactly what I wanted out of this course, and also for me to become a more expressive and a natural teacher in the classroom, for the fact that stories are here to say, stories are here to connect, and I could do it despite Ankit. So thank you so much. Thank you really, from the bottom of my head. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Disha. How old is your child?
She turns 3 on 27th of the next month. So yeah.
Yeah. Disha, you are also doing a PhD, isn't it?
No. That's a dream.
Okay.
A distant dream. Yes.
Yeah. I remember Disha telling us that she would get very little time to practice because she's a teacher and then she's a new mother, and there's just so much work that requires. And that's true that despite that, and despite, you've given all of yourself to this story, as we all could see. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Roshali, for finding this story. And Roshali is a curious kid. She's the one person in my session I remember for just smiling at everything. Like every session, every statement is like a new trapdoor for her, and then she'll go down the rabbit hole. And I remember when she came to me for choosing stories, she had like 3 options, but third option also had 3 more options, and she could not choose a story for the longest time. She would wonder about Wonder Tales, but I also want a short story, but maybe a mythology. And for each one, she had many options. So it took her a very long time to, get hold of this one. Both of you have done a good job at it, great job at it, and you're both fantastic learners as well. Not just performers that people see you today, but also as learners. You've really contributed to the course. So taking a moment to thank you, Disha. Thank you, Rushali. And thank you, Harsha and Rasika Preeti, who have navigated us to this first part of the evening. Now we have been sitting for a while, and it's time for us to take a short break, to move a little, to stretch a little. And so let's take a short break of 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, we'll be back with more stories with a new host and stories in Indian languages. So see you on the other side of break in 5 minutes. Welcome back. And while we were away, I think a kid was having their play. I could notice there's a drawing opening in somebody drawing. So perhaps when the session ends, we'll see what the kid was drawing. Meanwhile, I take us to the other part of the evening where Prachi is there to navigate us, guide us. Welcome, Prachi, as a host. Prachi, over to you.
Welcome back, everyone. We heard so many beautiful stories, and stories that I'm going to, for sure, one of them relate to Dia tonight when we go to sleep. but such beautiful stories. Stories are something that make everything possible, right? We enter into worlds which are so different from the ones that we have weaved around us. So, for the next story that we're going to listen, join me in welcoming Dimple. She's a fellow homeschooler, or rather travel schooler, that's how she likes to call it, from Ahmedabad. Her story is one that comes from the land of Sufis. Dimple will take us to the land of Sindh and how people lived there once upon a time.
कच्ची सड़कों पर बसे एक दूसरे से जुड़े हुए वो पतली गलियों वाले घर जिनके दरवाजे मजबूत सागवान से बने थे और आंगन आंगन इतना खुला कि एक तरफ था तंदूर तो दूसरी तरफ तुलसी का पौधा। वहीं मिलेंगे आपको मोहल्ले वालों के साथ कचहरी करते हुए दादाजी और नीम के पेड़ के नीचे खेलते बबली और बबलू। ये उस समय की बात है जब घर घी, अजवाइन और केतली में उबलती चाय के बुलबुलों से महकता था। दादी अजरक का परांदा और सफेद सुत्थड़ पहने फर्श पर बैठी कोकी बेल रही थी। कोकी तो पता ही होगा ना आप सबको। खैर, तभी तवे ने आवाज दी। बाहर बिश्ती आया, उसकी घंटी बजी और वो गाने लगा, मशक वाला आया, पानी लाया। वो भी क्या दिन थे जब मस्जिद की अजान से लेकर मंदिर की घंटी तक और कानों पर सुनाई पड़ती अमीना आंटी के रेडियो पे बजते सूफी कलाम तक सुरों की समता थी, अमन था। जी हाँ, कुछ इस तरह का माहौल था कभी न बंद होने वाले सिंधी घरों का 1940 के दशक में। दादी के पास फर्श पर बैठी मीना ने सफेद दुपट्टे में लपेटे हुए शाहजो रिसालों को खोला और पढ़ने लगी। अजब डिठीसूं साहिब तुंजी साहिबी, अजब डिठीसूं साहिब तुंजी साहिबी, पन बोड़ी पातार में पाहण तारी तू। Oh Lord, with great wonder I saw your majesty. The leaf sinks to the bottom and the stone afloats. दादी कैसा गाया? डाडो सुठो। पीछे से रशीद चाचा आए और साथ में शीर खुरमा लाए। क्यों ना सभी हमेशा की तरह सिंधु किनारे साथ में खाने चले? दादी, अमीना आंटी, रशीद चाचा, बबली, बबलू सब निकल ही रहे थे घर से कि अचानक रेडियो पे एक ऐलान आया। कुछ समय तक किसी को कुछ भी समझ नहीं आ रहा था। रेडियो बजता रहा। धर्म, पलायन, सीमा, बंटवारा। दादी खड़ी की खड़ी रह गई। फिर धीरे धीरे उन्हें गम, डर, चिंता और गुस्से का एहसास हुआ। अगले दिन गली का माहौल पूरा बदल चुका था और सबसे ज्यादा सुनाई देने वाला शब्द जो बन गया था वो था खामोशी। न बिश्ती, न रेडियो, न ही छत पर खेलते हुए बच्चों का शोर। और तो और 20 साल में 20 साल में तवा पहली बार ठंडा पड़ा था। फर्श पर बैठी दादी और दादी के सामने खुला संदूक, मानो वो सामान नहीं समय बांध रही थी। सबसे पहले उनका हाथ जा पहुंचा अपने परांदी पर। उन्होंने अपनी परांदी खोली अपनी 4 चूड़ियां और एक नथ डालकर उसे दोबारा सी दिया। फिर उनका हाथ जा पहुंचा शहाजो रिसालों पर, और अंत में डरते डरते, कांपते कांपते, अंत में उनके हाथ जा पहुंचे वतन की मिट्टी पर, जिन्हें उन्होंने अपने सर पे लगाया और पत्ते में डालकर अखबार के पन्ने में लपेट दिया। दादी, जल्दी करो, जहाज का समय हो गया है, मीना ने आवाज दी। घर की तरफ आखिरी बार देखते हुए दादी ने ये पंक्तियां बोली। जब डाली पर फूल फिर खिल उठेंगे, हम तब फिर मिलेंगे। तीड़ी पवंदा डाड़िया ते, जॾहिं ॻाढ़ा गुल अलाला, तॾहिं मिलंदासीं, तॾहिं मिलंदासीं। अल्लाहु अल्लाहु।
Just beautiful. Very beautiful, Dimple. It just transported us to the land of Sindh. It was just beautiful. I mean, I literally have no words. And the way you narrated it, it's so beautiful. Just this morning, I got to know that me and her have actually met in Bangalore. And I didn't know that we knew each other and you were the same Dimple. But Dimple, please share with us your entire journey of, storytelling and your story. And how did you pick this one?
Okay, it might take a while. I'm a little overwhelmed. Last 4 months, I have been on bed, which is so unlikely of me. And the anchor throughout this journey was this course. Really, I I have no words. And I had a surgery, then fracture and whatnot. But this course hooked me. I would look forward to Monday and Tuesday nights, and thankful to my parents, to my daughter. My daughter has almost done 3/4 of the course. She has started writing also, writing poems and all. And so many my friends who have joined me today, everybody, all my participants, they encouraged me, and everybody, such a good ship of fools we were. I loved it. And last but not the least, my dearest teacher Ankit. They say, like he says, story does, we don't choose story chooses us. Same way in my life I have witnessed, I don't choose my teachers, my teachers choose me. And thank you for being my teacher, Ankit. And I and can write long essays to you for the kind of person you are. This has been a spiritual journey for me, and you have helped me evolve in this journey further. I'm seeing world in a different light. Thank you for letting me come close to myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimple. And I can understand all the overwhelming emotions, and we can take a moment to absorb them. But also tell us a little about Sindh and why you chose to tell story of Sindh.
I do not believe in casteism, but I somewhere feel that our generation, like millennials and Gen Z all the more, they don't like to speak in Sindhi. Whenever we are in public, हमको हमेशा, अभी मैं हिंदी ही बोल दूंगी, हमको हमेशा बस अंग्रेजी ही बोलनी होती है। और मतलब हिंदी भी नहीं, सिंधी तो बहुत दूर की बात है, शर्म आती है। सिर्फ सिंधी कब बोलते हैं, जब एक दूसरे को कुछ गॉसिप करना हो या किसी के बारे में कुछ बोलना हो, तब एक दूसरे के कान में बोलते हैं, पता नहीं चलने देते कि हम सिंधी हैं, क्योंकि इमेज थोड़ी ऐसी थी। तो मुझे लगा थोड़ा उससे बियॉन्ड बहुत रिच कल्चर है। शाह लतीफ साईं 1800s के सूफी पोएट होके गए, और उसके अलावा भी जो खाना, जो कल्चर, इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन जो शुरू हुई वहीं से हुआ है, इतनी रिच हिस्ट्री है, हमको ही नहीं पता है। तो मुझे लगा ये एक जरिया हो सकता है, इतना बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मैं ले सकती हूँ ये। एंड अंकित, यू हेल्प मी, क्योंकि मैं मिमिक्री बहुत अच्छा कर लेती हूँ, मैं बच्चों की स्टोरी बहुत अच्छे बोल सकती थी। तो मैंने सोचा मैं इजी टॉपिक लेती हूँ, आपको मैंने 2 ऑप्शन दिए थे बट यू सेड नहीं यही करो। जब मैं लोगों को देखती थी कि बच्चों की स्टोरी बोल रहे हैं सब, मुझे लगता था कि यार मैं और अच्छे से जो मैं कर रही हूँ उससे अच्छे से कर सकती थी। इतनी टफ स्टोरी है, उतना इमोशन में ला पाऊंगी कि नहीं, क्योंकि मैं बन ही नहीं पा रही थी सरहद के उस पार। बहुत टाइम तो मुझे वही लग गया। लेकिन मैंने अपने घर वालों से बहुत बातें की, बहुत पढ़ा मैंने इस बारे में, और बहुत ही रैंडम कॉल्स भी की और समझने के लिए। तो इन अ वे मुझे सिंध के करीब ये स्टोरी लेकर आई, और आई थिंक यहाँ से जाने के बाद आप लोग भी थोड़ा और सर्च करेंगे। तो अंकित, थैंक्स टू यू हैव अ बिगर रोल टू प्ले की हुक ऑन टू इट, यू टोल्ड मी। या, थैंक यू।
Thank you. And because you see the performer, Dimple, today, I also just want to share a little about the learner Dimple that has been with us. इस कहानी को तैयार करते वक्त अब लगभग हमें 3 हफ्ते हो चुके हैं, और हर हफ्ते जब डिम्पल इस कहानी को तैयार लाके लेके आते थे, हम उसको बहुत उसका एक बड़ा हिस्सा हटा देते थे और एक छोटे से हिस्से को रखते थे, और इस प्रोसेस को हमने 2 से 3 बार रिपीट किया। इमेजिन कीजिए, आपने पूरी कहानी तैयार कर ली और फिर कोई आके कहता है कि इसके 2 तिहाई हिस्से को जाने दो, सिर्फ इस हिस्से को रखो। और फिर उन्होंने पूरी तैयारी की और फिर से हमने इसके 2 तिहाई हिस्से को जाने दिया, और फिर एक बार फिर से जहां पार्टीशन वाली लाइन है उसके आगे का सब हिस्सा बदल दिया। और डिम्पल इस पूरे लर्निंग प्रोसेस में बार बार फिनिक्स की तरह बार बार रूप लेके इस कहानी को लेके आते रहे। तो मुझे लगता है डिम्पल ने इस कहानी को बहुत प्यार दिया है, बहुत जान दी है, बहुत एक पहचान दी है। तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया डिम्पल। और प्राची और डिम्पल एक वर्ड का काफी इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, तो मुझे लगता है हम हल्का सा उसके बारे में भी बोले, क्योंकि जब डिम्पल मुझे खुद से इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे थे तो वो बताते थे कि मैं एक माँ हूँ और ये मेरा फुल टाइम काम है, और मैं इसको बहुत सीरियसली लेती हूँ। और ये बात मुझे बहुत प्यारी लगी, मैंने इसको अपनी डायरी में लिख भी लिया है। तो मैं चाहता हूँ आप डिम्पल इस हिस्से के बारे में भी, प्राची डिम्पल, हमें क्या बताइए, होम स्कूलिंग क्या है, आपने क्यों चुना?
मैं सिर्फ पहले एक चीज बोलूंगी कि है ना, मैं अपने मेंटोर्स को, स्वाति जी को और शालू जी को और सर्विका भी थी, उन्होंने मेरी बहुत मदद की सेशंस में। और शालू जी तो एक्स्ट्रा माइल गई। मैं अगर उनको मैसेज नहीं करती थी तो वो मुझे मैसेज करती थी कि डिम्पल करना है हमको ये, और अच्छे से हो जाएगा, बहुत मोटिवेटेड रखा। तो आप तीनों को भी बहुत बहुत थैंक यू। मैं बोलना भूल गई थी, मैंने वो स्पेशल मेंशन में सोचा था रखूंगी पर भूल गई थी। तो थैंक्स, बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट रोल प्ले करते हैं मेंटोर्स भी, ऐसा। थैंक यू।
पिछले सत्र में अगर आप में से कुछ लोग शालू से मिले हो, तो शालू ने पंजाब पार्टीशन से जुड़ी एक कहानी सुनाई थी, और आई थिंक उन्होंने वो दरवाजा खोला, और इसीलिए डिम्पल आज कुछ और कदम बढ़ा पाए। और डिम्पल, आपने कुछ कदम बढ़ाए हैं, तो हमें उम्मीद है कि हम सब जहां से भी आते हैं उस जगह की, उस वक्त की, उन लोगों की कहानियां सबके बीच लेकर आए। तो शुक्रिया इस कदम के लिए शालू। बहुत मेहनत, बहुत हिम्मत के साथ उन्होंने अपनी दादी की कहानी सुनाई थी, अपनी नानी की कहानी सुनाई थी, जो पार्टीशन हिंदुस्तान के दूसरे हिस्से से आई थी। और फिर डिम्पल ने आज एक कहानी सुनाई। और डिम्पल, मैं वापस अपने सवाल सवाल के पास आता हूँ। टेल अस अबाउट होम स्कूलिंग।
अगर इन अ नटशेल अगर मैं कहूँगी तो मेरे लिए ये होम स्कूलिंग नहीं है, इट इज़ अ वे ऑफ लाइफ। मतलब जब मैं, मेरी बेटी जन्मी थी उसके बाद मैं काफ़ी टाइम तक डिप्रेशन में थी, बहुत ज़्यादा। घर के माहौल के हिसाब से और सब चीज़ें मुझे अफेक्ट करती थी छोटी छोटी। मुझे लगता था कि मैं पहली बार इस प्लेटफॉर्म, किसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे बात करें, मैं बात ज़्यादा करती नहीं हूँ इस बारे में। एक्चुअली तो फर्स्ट टाइम है ये, वो भी। तो बहुत ही गंदे ख्याल थे मेरे दिमाग में खुद को लेके। तो मुझे लगा कि ये क्या हो रहा है, खुद के ही दूर हूँ। इतना पढ़ाई किया, इतना कमा रही हूँ, सब कुछ कर रही हूँ, व्यर्थ है। हैप्पीनेस मटेरियल चीज़ों पे डिपेंडेंट है, और कुछ जान ही नहीं रही हूँ खुद के बारे में, मुझे क्या चाहिए क्या नहीं चाहिए। और उसी टाइम पे मेरी बहन को, जो बहुत ही नोमैड टाइप की ट्रैवलर है, उसको एक फैमिली मिली थी जो फार्म स्कूलिंग, फॉरेस्ट स्कूलिंग करती थी। तो उन्होंने मुझे डाला था, बताया था इस बारे में। तब मेरी बेटी, जब बताया था मेरी बहन ने, तब पेट में ही थी, तो मैंने तब से ही सोचना तो चालू कर दिया था। लेकिन जब बॉर्न हुई तो मेरा हैप्पीनेस भी इतना शैटर्ड था ना, तो मुझे लगा कि कुछ करना चाहिए, कुछ गलत है मेरे साथ। तो मैंने सोचा क्या गलत है ना, तो उस पे मैंने काम करना शुरू किया। एक चीज है, मैं किसी चीज के पीछे पड़ती हूँ ना, पूरा पड़ जाती हूँ, मतलब मैं जीती उठती वही हूँ पूरा। तो फिर मैंने देखा, मेरी एक दोस्त है, वो इस मीटिंग में शायद अभी सुन रही है कि नहीं, अर्चना करके। उनसे मेरी मुलाकात हुई और उनके साथ मैंने कुछ सेशंस शुरू किए थे वर्ल्ड ऑफ ट्रेनिंग पे। ऐसे कर करके कोविड भी हिट हुआ, बहुतों को सुना मैंने इस बारे में बात करते हुए। होम स्कूलिंग बहुत पैटर्न्स होते हैं, कोई फार्म स्कूलिंग, कोई रोड स्कूलिंग, कोई स्ट्रक्चर बेस्ड, वो सब करता है। तो हर एक में से मैंने जो जो बात मेरी फैमिली को लागू हो सकती थी, मुझे और मेरी बेटी को लागू हो सकती थी, मैंने की। उसमें पता है क्या बातें थी? चुप रहना है, मुझे ज्यादा बोलना नहीं है। चिल्ड्रन आर इन मेडिटेटिव स्टेट टिल द एज ऑफ 7। मैं उसके सामने कुछ बोलती नहीं थी, कुछ मुझे सिखाना नहीं है, रादर आई हैव टू लर्न फ्रॉम द क्लीन स्लेट दैट आई हैव गॉट। और बहुत ही प्रोसेसेस बच्चों में अंदर चल रहे होते हैं, लेट इट हैपन। उसके अलावा पेरेंटिंग इज अ चांस फॉर मी टू इवॉल्व थ्रू हर। मैंने उसको एकदम गांठ बांध दी उस बात को, मैंने, वो मुझे सुधारनी ही आई है आज भी। हर चीज में जो वॉट एवर शी टेल्स मी, मैं उस पे चलती हूँ। छोटी है बॉडी में बट नॉट इन द सोल लेवल। मैं सोल लेवल में मैं कहूँगी बहुत इवॉल्व स्पीशीज है और इवॉल्व सोल है, तो मैं पूरा आई एम टोटली गाइडेड बाय हर। एंड इस तरीके से चुप रहते रहते मैंने देखा हाउ इट हैज बीन। मैं मटेरियल रिवॉर्ड्स पे तो नहीं जाऊंगी कि बहुत लोग पूछते हैं कि क्या टेंजिबल बेनिफिट्स हैं इस तरीके से बच्चे को बड़ा करने के। तो मैं ना चाहती हूँ कि कोई मेरे बच्चे को जज करे ना मुझे जज करे। लेकिन इतना है कि वो खुद को बहुत अच्छे से जानती है मेरी बेटी, जितना हम में से शायद ही कोई अपने आप को जानते होंगे। और इस तरीके से जो भी बच्चे रेज हो रहे हैं बिना गोइंग टू स्कूल, क्योंकि हर्ड में कभी नहीं रही है, बहुत ही अलग थिंकिंग है, मतलब इंडिपेंडेंट थिंकिंग है, बचपन से ही कभी नहीं गई है। उसके अलावा तो समय बताएगा क्या है क्या नहीं है, बट ये हमारे लिए जीवन का तरीका है। हमने हर चीज को चैलेंज किया। हमने 5 साल घर से टीवी निकाल दिया था। क्या मेरे हस्बैंड और मैं घर में बातें करते हैं, हमने उस पर कंट्रोल लाया। कैसे सोचते हैं, कैसे बोलते हैं, क्या मूवीज देखना छोड़ दिया। मैं इसको रेस्टोरेंट भी 6 साल तक नहीं ले गई थी, न थिएटर, कुछ भी नहीं। मैंने इन्फ्लुएंस बहुत कम रखा चीजों का, सिर्फ उसका और नेचर और घर में जैसा माहौल था वो रखा। तो दैट इज हाउ आई रेज हर। एंड वी ट्रैवल्ड एवरी मंथ, 5 साल लगातार। एवरी सिंगल मंथ मैं ट्रैवल की हूँ उसके साथ, और शहरों में नहीं, मतलब मेट्रोज में नहीं, माउंटेन्स, rivers, farms, jungles. Jungles are our favorite. And I would love it if one day she just goes and lives in jungle. But that is it. I want her to be raised as a happy person. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Dimple, for giving us a glimpse of your life, a glimpse of your family, insights about your child and your parenting. Thank you so much once again for this story. Thank you, Dimple. And over to Prachi. And Prachi, maybe add a little bit about your homeschooling journey before you take us to the next story.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ankit. Like Dimple was saying, she calls it travel schooling. I call it unschooling. This whole idea started, I think, when Dia was not born. And I felt that learning has to be different. And there was an innate thought. But at that point, we had T-Box, I mean, our brand. And I couldn't take the decision of really taking up the whole responsibility of traveling with her and doing all of this. So till 3rd grade, she did go to school. It's been the last 2 years that we have chosen this path. And like she was saying, it's our way of life as well. And she learns through life. When people ask me, Prachi, wo seekhti kaise hai? Exam, 10th, boards, certifications nahi chahiye honge and all of that. I'm like, in today's world, I think it's actually not that much required. So we feel that, the way she will learn when she's sitting right here, hearing this whole conversation. And I think just through this pure observation, she's going to just learn so much more. Just to give you another, an idea, the reason why I'm not presenting a story today is because we committed to a 8-day international theater festival that was happening in Bangalore, and we had booked tickets a little in advance. And every day we would go. And my routine is a little different. We sleep at 8 and I wake up at 3. So, and for us to do this, it was actually the exact slot when all the rehearsals were happening. And I was like, oh God. So finally I had to tell Ankit, I can't commit because this is just too much. A lot of people ask me why 8 days you took her. And I said, this is the way she's going to just learn and expose herself to different ways of communication, expression, meet different people, talk, converse. And since we went 8 days there, someone from the Ranga Shankara team with the theater part here, they said, why doesn't she write a letter to us saying, what was her experience like? Now, this is the learning, I feel like she's her expressing, the writing, then sharing it to them. So yeah, like Dimple was saying, for us also, it's now become a way of life. So there's no structure, no curriculum we follow, no exams, nothing. There are days that she's only reading books, and then there are days that we are back to back in different exhibitions or different things that are happening in the city. So it's just by the day, and she learns from people like all of us that are here. So yes, this is our journey, and it's just been the last 2 years.
Thank you for this. Thank you, Prachi, for giving us these insights
Yeah.
about the life of your child. It's very interesting. And maybe perhaps in another session, we would just want to invite your children and just listen to them.
Yeah. Okay. Dimple, you want to add something?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, even I had this thing. I had signed up for a course which was learning herpetology, study of snakes and this reptiles and amphibians. And that teacher, again, Ankit, like you, is one of the best teachers for that subject matter. And he comes to Ahmedabad just once a year. And I had already booked. आज और कल दोनों दिन था उनका. मैं बहुत फिक्स में आ चुकी थी, मुझे स्टोरी करनी है कि नहीं, कि वहां करना है. मेरी बेटी को भी बहुत पसंद है ये सब, उसको भी ले जाना था. मैं भागते भागते कल सारा दिन किया अटेंड. आज मैं 4 बजे घर पहुंची भागते भागते, 3:30 बजे शायद. हाँ, एंड आई डिड इट. सो या, लाइक दैट इज हाउ द लाइफ गोज. लाइक उस तरीके से चलता है होम स्कूलिंग का. विल शेयर समथिंग इन दैट. या. थैंक यू.
All right. I think we talked enough about homeschooling. Now let's move on to the next story. Seema ji is an art director who believes that art is one of the ways to discover stories, culture, and nature. Her story comes from Bhil tribes, where we will meet someone who has the power to bring rain. I wish we had one for real, Seema ji. India truly needs it. Over to you.
हम तो हंसते हंसते कह देते हैं चलो मुर्गा बनो, पर क्या आप जानते हैं मुर्गा बनना कितना मुश्किल है? आइए सुनते हैं एक ऐसे ही मुर्गे की कहानी जिसने ना सिर्फ एक गांव को जल के संकट से बचाया, बल्कि भील कला को भी एक नई पहचान दी। सवेरा होने को आया था। नींद में डूबे मुर्गे ने बांग लगाई, उड़ो, पर उसकी बांग किसी को सुनाई ना दी। मुर्गा था बड़ा ही प्यासा और दूर दूर तक पानी का कोई नामो निशान ना था। गांव का जो इकलौता तालाब था वो भी सूख चुका था। पानी की एक एक बूंद के लिए लड़ रहे थे सारे के सारे भील। और मुसीबत की इस घड़ी में गांव वालों को याद आई भूरी अम्मा की। इस संकट का हल तो सिर्फ एक बड़वा ही निकाल सकता है, वो जिसे प्रकृति का ज्ञान है। देवता भी उसकी बात सुनते हैं। नदी, आसमान, पहाड़, तालाब, इन सब से कुछ रिश्ता है उसका, पर कहते हैं खाने में खाता है मुर्गा। नहीं, अगर उसने मुझे देखा तो झपट लेगा और तंदूर में भूनकर महुए के साथ गटक जाएगा। डरो नहीं, मेरे पास एक तरकीब है। तुम्हें हम सूखी पत्तियों से ढक देते हैं, फिर कोई तुम्हें पहचान नहीं पाएगा। मुर्गे की सांस में सांस आई और फिर गांव वाले चल दिए भूरी अम्मा के साथ बड़वे की तलाश में। भूरी अम्मा आगे आगे, गांव वाले पीछे पीछे। थोड़ी दूर चलने पर दूर एक पेड़ के नीचे नशे में धुत एक आदमी बैठा हुआ दिखा। क्या यही है बड़वा? सबने यही पूछा। भूरी अम्मा गई और उन्होंने कहा, बड़वे जी, बड़ी मुसीबत आन पड़ी है। हमारा गांव पानी को तरस रहा है। जरा दिखाइए अपना चमत्कार और कर दीजिए वर्षा की फुहार। आहा, ये लोग मुझे बड़वा समझ रहे हैं। चलो कराता हूं अभी बारिश। और उसने कुछ बड़बड़ाना शुरू किया। धूम झक्कड़ जादू चालू, धूम झक्कड़ जादू चालू। बड़बड़ाते हुए उसने अपनी छड़ी उठाई और जोर जोर से हवा में घुमाने लग गया। छड़ी जाकर गिरी भीड़ में खड़े एक आदमी पर। वो लड़खड़ाया और जा टकरा बैठा मुर्गे से। डर से मुर्गा झटपटाया और उसकी सारी पत्तियां गिर गई। अब बड़वे की नजर पड़ी मुर्गे पे। आहा, अब तो जब इसे खाऊंगा तभी बारिश लाऊंगा। मुर्गा डरा, सकपकाया, कहाँ छुपूं उसे कुछ समझ ना आया। भूरी अम्मा ने कहा, डरो नहीं, पहले पता तो कर ले ये असली बड़वा है भी या नहीं। उन्होंने एक मिट्टी का घड़ा आगे किया और बड़वे से कहा, आप इस पे जरा खड़े हो जाइए, जो ये ना टूटा तो मजे से इस मुर्गे की लुफ्त उठाइए। लड़खड़ाता हुआ सा बड़वा मटके पे खड़े होने की उसने कोशिश करी, पर जैसे ही उसने एक पैर रखा, धड़ाम, मटके के टुकड़े टुकड़े हो गए। गांव वालों को आया बहुत ही गुस्सा और वो नकली बड़वा किसी तरह से अपनी जान बचा के वहां से भाग लिया। फिर कुछ और दूर आगे चले गांव वाले और उन्हें एक मधुर सा संगीत सुनाई दिया। यह तो सड़ी चिड़ी का गीत है, भूरी अम्मा ने कहा। और उसका गीत के पीछा करते करते वो सारे गांव वाले पहुंच गए वहां जहां था असली बड़वा खड़ा, एक घड़े के ऊपर अपनी ही धुन में मस्त मगन जोर जोर से धाक बजाता हुआ। भूरी अम्मा ने फिर वही आग्रह किया, बड़वे जी कृपया पानी ला दें, हम लोग बहुत बहुत परेशान हैं। वो शांत रहा। वो बड़वा जिस घड़े के ऊपर खड़ा था उसमें से लगातार पानी बह रहा था। कई दिनों के प्यासे भीलों से रहा न गया, वो जल्दी जल्दी पानी पीने लगे। इतनी देर में बड़वे ने छड़ी ली और धड़ाम उस मटके के टुकड़े टुकड़े कर दिए। चारों तरफ सन्नाटा छा गया। भूरी अम्मा आगे आई, बड़वे जी हमसे कोई गलती हो गई है क्या, क्षमा कर दें। तभी भीड़ में से आवाज आई, क्या आप हमसे इसलिए नाराज हैं क्योंकि हमने आपको मुर्गा नहीं दिया। भीड़ में से कपकपाता हुआ मुर्गा बाहर निकला। अगर मेरे बलिदान से इस गांव का भला होता है तो आप मुझे खा लें। बड़वा मुस्कुराया। उन्होंने मुर्गे के सर पे हाथ फेरा और उसका एक पंख निकाल लिया। उस पंख से उन्होंने साथ में पड़े एक मिट्टी के घड़े के टुकड़े को उठाया और उस पर कुछ चित्र बनाया। उन्होंने वो चित्र बना के मुर्गे के सामने रख दिया। मुर्गा खुशी से उछल पड़ा, अरे ये तो पेड़ का चित्र है, बड़वा जी चाहते हैं कि हम चित्र बनाएं। फिर क्या था, सभी गांव वालों ने अपने घरों की दीवारों को चित्रों से भर दिया। छोटी छोटी रंग बिरंगी बिंदियों से बने चित्रों से बने पेड़, फूल, पक्षी, जानवर, इन सभी के चित्रों से पूरा गांव जीवंत हो उठा। उस रात बादल घिराए, बहुत तेज बिजली कड़की और मूसलाधार बारिश हुई। सारे के सारे भी खुशी से झूम उठे। उन्होंने अपने सारे घड़े और बर्तन भर लिए। गांव के जो कुएं और तालाब थे वो भी पानी से भर गए और धीरे धीरे पूरा गांव हरा भरा हो गया। फसलें फिर से लहराईं और पूरे गांव में सुख, शांति और समृद्धि आ गई। फिर से सवेरा हुआ और फिर से हमारे मुर्गे ने बांग लगाई, और कहते हैं तब से लेकर आज तक भीलों ने चित्र बनाना नहीं छोड़ा। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Seema ji. It just took me to an incident or an experience rather. There is this 100 hands that happens in Bangalore here, where all the artisans from all over India come. And for the first time, I saw Bhil art there. And there was a very old lady. She obliged and she drew something for us also on a piece of paper. So great stories. And she says that all we do is we do nature. And that's the whole idea. And it's so beautiful. Thank you so much for taking us to the land of Bhil. But now please tell us about yourself and the whole journey of Teachers Telling Tales with Ankit.
So before I take you through the journey, let me just show you take you some of the characters of the story. So ये है हमारा मुर्गा.
Beautiful.
I don't know why it's getting blurred. ये हमारी भूरी अम्मा.
Wow.
और ये हमारा बड़वा जो धाक बजा रहा है, उसकी धाक के साथ there's a drum.
Right.
And ये है हमारा महुए का पेड़ जिसको कि सेंट्रल इंडिया की लाइफलाइन भी कहते हैं. And there's a small bird sitting here which is the सड़ी चिड़ी जिसका गीत कहानी में था.
Wow.
So I'm really, really happy that I got a chance to share a story that I really believe in because it has everything that I love. It has art, it has nature, and it has my connection to the central MP. I am from Jabalpur, but I never got a chance to live in MP, central India, because my father had a transferable job, so we keep shifting to one place to another. But my parents grew up in MP, and they grew up in different parts of the MP. So through them, I got to know about these stories, the story of the villages, how it was living among them. मेरे पापा मुझे सुनाते थे कि कैसे जब गर्मियां होती थी तो महुए के पेड़ से महुआ इकट्ठा करने के लिए पूरा का पूरा गांव आ जाता था. It used to be a celebration. So all those stories, they stayed with me throughout. Actually, my parents are not there with me anymore, but those stories, they are there with me, and I want to take forward those stories to my son and to the kids जिनको मैं art सिखाती हूँ. So I want to share all these stories to them. So I'm very thankful that I took the course, and I want to tell कि life में पहली बार ऐसा हुआ है कि मैं कोई performance देने से पहले 1% भी नहीं डरी. This is the first time that has happened. It has never happened before. Thanks to Ankit and all the mentors, and through the rigorous practice that we went through. And I only want to say that अगर आपकी practice पर पक्की है तो आपको किसी चीज से कोई नहीं रोक सकता. So the practice should be perfect. Also, I'm really thankful to Ankit and all the mentors, the kind of confidence they have showed in us, in all the participants. I think it's the best feeling when somebody else shows the confidence in you. When you are scared, but सामने वाला आपको confidence दिखाता है, it's a very, very, very assuring feeling. एंड इवेंचुअली जब आपको खुद वो कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाता है कि यस मैं ये कर सकती हूँ, तो उससे बड़ी फीलिंग तो कुछ होती ही नहीं है. सो आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल फॉर द कोर्स, थैंकफुल फॉर ऑल द कम्युनिटी. एंड आई ऑल्सो वांट टू शेयर वन थिंग. स्टोरी में एक पार्ट है जहाँ पे कि जब वो गांव वाले जाते हैं और वो देखते हैं कि घड़े से पानी निकल रहा है और वो जाके पीने लगते हैं, तो बड़वा वो घड़ा तोड़ देता है. मेरे बेटे ने कहा कि ये क्या बात हुई मम्मा, ये वो तोड़ क्यों देता है? सो इट्स मतलब द स्टोरी इज वेरी सिंपल, बट इट्स ट्राइंग टू से कि प्रकृति है, all the resources are there, but you can't just always keep taking from them. You can't take it for granted. Only when you show that you care for it, you're ready to preserve it through your actions, and when you show your gratitude, then only the nature gives back and it nurtures you again. So it's a simple story, but yeah, I think it has a lot of meaning to it. So thank you very much.
Simple things are always beautiful, Seema ji. All right, let's move.
Prachi, I just want to add that I love the fact that everybody is bringing their life into their stories, isn't it? Somebody is from Sindh, they are bringing a Sindhi story. Somebody is from Bihar, they are bringing a Bhojpuri story. Someone has grown up with childhood stories of Budugu, they are bringing Budugu here. Somebody is bringing that story about a door in a village, in a house, and they are bringing it here. So I'm so glad that this has become a space where people bring all of their life into stories. And thank you, Seema. And Seema, do you also just want to tell us about your work? You have been an art teacher, and do you just want to add a little bit to that?
So I have a background in design from NIFT Delhi. And after working for like 10 years in different sectors of fashion and accessories, exports, and all these things, I took a break when my son was born. I tried to squeeze in work, but it was not happening. And again, like Dimple said, the first year जो होता है motherhood का, it's a very difficult time for mother. I was going through a lot of feelings. My parents, nobody was there. I had zero support. Plus, I was feeling worthless because I was not adding on to the financial expenses of the house. And in that time, art kind of saved me. And because I had zero experience of dealing with a toddler who can't speak, so what I did, I introduced books to him. मैं उसको सुबह शाम बुक्स पढ़ती थी, सुनाती थी, जैसी भी मेरी मतलब I am not a storyteller, but जिस तरह से भी सुना सकती थी. So I used to narrate the stories to him. And धीरे धीरे मुझे idea आया how to make the stories more interesting. So what I did, I started making, bringing all the characters from the story alive for him through whatever was available at home. लॉकडाउन का टाइम था, कार्डबोर्ड्स पड़े थे, एक कार्टन्स पड़े थे, कुछ इधर उधर जो भी सामान था. Out of all that, I started making things. So initial story of all the Julia Donaldson की story, Room with the Broom में ड्रैगन बनाया, वो विच बनाई. Then there was a discarded washing machine का पाइप, उसको हम लोगों ने वो एरिक कार्ल्टन का कैटरपिलर बनाया. And slowly I started uploading all this on the Instagram, and everybody started liking it because it was a sustainable art kind of thing. I was not using any fancy materials, nothing fancy. घर में जो पड़ा है उसको यूज करके उससे चीजें बनाना. And I think the concept took off, and then I got started getting queries. Everybody started approaching कि आप art class क्यों नहीं करती. Problem ये थी कि venue नहीं था मेरे पास कुछ, कहाँ पे करूँ. And I stay not part of Delhi, वहाँ पे ज्यादा लोग आना पसंद नहीं करते. So what I did, I started taking sessions in garden. Lodi garden है Delhi में, it's a big garden and it's a free garden. I started taking sessions there and I got a huge turnout. मतलब एक ही दिन में विंटर्स में स्टार्ट किया, एक ही दिन में मैंने 3-4 बैचेस किए 20-20 बच्चों के, जहाँ पे नेचर, स्टोरीज और आर्ट सबको कंबाइन करके we did things. And then slowly schools also started approaching, and slowly it took off. So I am kind of, not very much work wise. It's not like I have to work all the time. I work only on the weekends. Baki time I spend with my son, who's not doing homeschooling, but still we go out and explore everything because nature, art and all these connections is very important for me. So we do all that, and I also get to work with the kids and share the thing that I love, which is art. So I'm मतलब बोलते समय मुझे थोड़ी सी हिचक होती है, but when I'm doing art, I am unstoppable. So I think, and now
आज
I
के
think
बाद आप ये भी कह सकते हैं कि बोलते वक्त भी आपको हिचक नहीं होती.
अब नहीं है. Exactly.
आप कुछ और भी जोड़ रहे थे सीमा जी.
नहीं, बस यही था कि अब मैं स्टोरीज, मतलब आर्ट को स्टोरीज के साथ जोड़ के उसको और बेटर वे में प्रेजेंट कर सकती हूँ टू द किड्स.
बहुत
So
बहुत
thank you for giving us the confidence.
thank you, Seema ji. And I'm loving these stories of how motherhood and raising up your children has brought in a love for stories and art also in so many of us, reviving the interest in art that we already had as a child in our childhood. So thank you so much, Seema. And Prachi, please take us ahead.
All right. Next up is Anvesha. In her bio, she says she's a child in an adult's body. She's chosen just the right mentor, guys, don't you think? All right, let's start into the world of many thoughts. And how many thoughts are just too many thoughts? Let's hear more from Anvesha.
शाम को मम्मी स्कूल की ट्रेनिंग के लिए रवाना हो गई। स्टेशन पर रह गए उषा और दीदी, जिन्हें रोकने टोकने वाला अब कोई नहीं था। दीदी का हाथ पकड़े उषा स्टेशन से घर आ रही थी, पर आज दीदी बिल्कुल चुप थी। यूं तो मम्मी के जाने के बाद दीदी से ज्यादा खुश कोई नहीं होता, क्योंकि अब उन पर नजर रखने वाला जो कोई नहीं था। मगर आज दीदी की चुप्पी उषा को अजीब लग रही थी। घर वापस लौटते हुए स्ट्रीट लाइट की रोशनी में उषा को अपनी परछाई अपने कद से भी लंबी दिखी। बस तभी उसने दीदी को कह दिया, अब मैं बड़ी हो गई हूँ, मुझसे बच्चों की तरह पेश मत आया करो। मगर दीदी खामोश थी। उषा झल्लाई कि दीदी कुछ तो बोले, मगर आज दीदी कुछ कह ही नहीं रही थी। ऐसा अक्सर होता है कि जब उषा को कुछ समझ नहीं आता तो वह उस खामोशी को अपने ख्यालों के जवाबों से भर देती है। दीदी का मौन व्रत तोड़वाने के लिए उसने फिर कहा, आज मैं अकेले सोऊंगी। दीदी फिर भी कुछ नहीं बोली। ये दीदी कुछ बोल क्यों नहीं रही है? उनकी अपने दोस्त से लड़ाई हो गई है क्या? मुझे तो वो लोग ऐसे भी नहीं पसंद है। खुद तो सारे दिन पढ़ते रहते हैं और सोचते हैं कि हम भी पढ़ते रहें। अपनी तरह मेरी दीदी को भी बोरिंग बना डाला है। मगर दीदी इंटरेस्टिंग थी ही कब? बचपन से तो किताबों में घुसी रहती है, कभी मस्ती नहीं करती। जब भी उनके पास जाओ तो कोई कहानी की किताब पकड़ा देती है और बोलती है, ये पढ़कर तो देखो मजा आएगा। कोई मजा नहीं आता। मगर नहीं, लड़ाई नहीं हुई होगी, वरना दीदी रो देती। उषा ने अपनी दीदी को एक बार फिर गौर से देखा। आज बात क्या है कि दीदी इतनी चुप है? कहीं से कोई स्ट्रेस तो नहीं है? एग्जाम तो हो गए इसके पिछले महीने। कहीं पिछले महीने के एग्जाम के रिजल्ट का स्ट्रेस तो नहीं है? कितनी चिंता करती है दीदी, मम्मी से भी ज्यादा। दीदी कितनी होशियार है, मेरी मम्मी की सब सबकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर देती है बिना बताए। मैजिकल है क्या? चाहे खुद मम्मी से कितनी भी लड़ाई करे, मगर हमारी सुलह तो दीदी ही करवाती है। अगर दीदी जितनी होशियार मैं होती और क्लास में हमेशा टॉप करती, तो मैं कभी टेंशन नहीं लेती। फिर उषा को याद आया, आज सुबह बड़ौदा की मम्मी आई थी और दीदी को कह रही थी, हल्दी और बेसन लगाया करो, चेहरे का रंग भी साफ होगा और पिंपल्स भी नहीं होंगे। तब दीदी ने तिरछी नजर से उन्हें देख के नजरअंदाज कर दिया था। बेसन से याद आया, कहीं दीदी को कुकिंग की टेंशन तो नहीं है? कुकिंग क से होता है या सी से? दीदी से पूछती हूँ। मगर दीदी फिर से कुछ नहीं बोली तो कहीं वो मुझसे नाराज तो नहीं है? पर मैंने तो कुछ किया भी नहीं। इतने में उषा को घर का गेट दिखने लगा। अंदर जाकर दीदी चप्पल उतारते हुए कुछ कहने को हुई। उषा ने कौतूहल से दीदी की तरफ देखा कि अब तो जरूर कुछ बोलेगी। उषा, केतली में पानी गर्म कर देना, वो मेरा गला दर्द हो रहा है। तुम्हारा गला दर्द हो रहा था? तो ये बात मुझे स्टेशन पर ही बता देती। यार दीदी, मैं इतनी चीजें सोच रही थी ना। अच्छा, तो तुम इसलिए मुझसे बात नहीं कर रही थी? अच्छा, अच्छा, अच्छा। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Anvesha. That was, that's how all of us are, right? Just keep thinking one thought after the other, one thought after the other. But it's so beautiful. Just we all went into the world of, Usha. But please tell us about your journey and how this idea. I think this is an original, right? You wrote it on your own. Can you just share a little bit about it?
आई एम एन ओवर थिंकर टू। लेकिन मेरी कोई बड़ी बहन नहीं रही है, और जो मेरी छोटी बहन है वो भी बहुत ओवर थिंकर है, मतलब जो मेरी कजन है। तो ये कहानी मेरे और उसके बारे में है कि कैसे हम लोग हमेशा ओवर थिंकिंग करते रहते हैं। तो मैं वो वाले पार्ट्स इसलिए लिख पाई क्योंकि मैं खुद ओवर थिंकर हूँ। और जब मैं उसको कुछ बोल देती हूँ या मुझे कुछ होता है तो वो वैसे ही सोचती है कि इसको क्या हुआ है। और तो ये स्टोरी यहीं से आई थी।
Thank you so much, Anvesha. You want to share something else about आपके बारे में आप कुछ बताना चाहेंगे आप क्या करते हैं?
नहीं, अभी यहाँ पर सबकी स्टोरी सुन के मुझे तो बहुत फोमो हो रहा है कि मतलब मेरे पास तो इतना कोई एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है। यहाँ पर सब बहुत ही आर्टिस्टिक और एक्सपीरियंस्ड लोग हैं। तो मेरे लिए ये बहुत अच्छा लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस है। खासकर वो उन चीज़ों के बारे में जो मैंने पहले सुनी नहीं थी। तो बस यही है।
हमेशा आपने बहुत ही प्यारा काम किया है। हम में से बाकी सब लोगों ने कोई लिखी लिखाई सुनी सुनाई कहानी सुनाई है, लेकिन आपने खुद अपनी कहानी को लिखा, उसको तैयार किया और फिर ओवर थिंक भी किया। एक बार अन्वेषा को एक फॉर्म में अपना नाम नहीं दिखा तो उसे लगा वो परफॉर्म नहीं कर रही है। और कई दिनों के इंतजार के बाद वो वापस आए। अन्वेषा, वो ओवर थिंक करना कैसा था?
नहीं, वो मैंने ना बिल्कुल जब सब शुरू कर रहे थे ना कि परफॉर्म करेंगे, तो मैंने सोचा था कि मैं करूंगी। पर मैं फिर स्टोरी लेके मीटिंग में ही नहीं आती थी, और मैं मीटिंग में आती थी तो मैं हैंड भी रेज नहीं करती थी। मुझे लगता था कि पता नहीं क्या कैसा होगा, मैं कर पाऊंगी कि नहीं। और मैं ऑनलाइन मीटिंग्स में बहुत ही मतलब ऐसे थोड़ी शाई शाई हूँ। सामने से तो मैं बहुत एक्सट्रोवर्ट हूँ, आप लोग सामने से मुझसे परेशान हो जाएंगे मेरी बातों से। लेकिन तो बहुत हफ्ते 2 हफ्ते बाद ऐसे फाइनली मैंने हाथ उठाया कि एक बार मैं स्टोरी लाइन बता देती हूँ, नहीं होगा तो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं। तो मैंने 1 हफ्ते पहले स्टोरी लाइन बताई तो वो अप्रूव हो गई। मुझे लगा अरे अब करना पड़ेगा क्या। फिर मुझे लगा इतनी मेहनत कौन करे। पर फिर मैं ऐसे वेडनेसडे के करीब या थर्सडे के करीब फिर आई। और फिर जब एक बार ऐसे मैंने सुनाया, थोड़ा थोड़ा ऐसे सटीक बैठ गया, तो मुझे लगा ठीक है कर देती हूँ। अपने ही लोग हैं, ऐसे कुछ बहुत वो नहीं है।
थैंक यू सो मच अन्वेषा। शायद रंजनी जी हाथ उठा रहे हैं। रंजनी जी, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे?
हाँ, मैं ये कहना चाह रही थी कि बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग कहानी है। बहुत प्यारे ढंग से आपने उसको बताया। बहुत अच्छा लगा, तो थैंक यू।
थैंक यू।
थैंक यू मैम।
अन्वेषा, आप इस कहानी की छोटी बहन है या आप इस कहानी की बड़ी बहन है या आप ही दोनों बहन हैं?
काइंड ऑफ दोनों बहनों, बड़ी बहन के ट्रेट्स मुझ में और छोटी बहन की ओवर थिंकिंग।
Yes, thank you so much, Anvesha. Um, Anvesha is studying education. She has been a student of BLED and now she's studying in a very prominent, very known, or one of the best colleges for education. And we look forward to a very long and rewarding career as a teacher for you, Anvesha. Um, yeah, Prachi, should we take a short break of like 3 minutes just so that we can digest all that we have gotten?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah. At least
Okay.
the last one.
Yes, we have 3, 4 more stories coming for us. So let's just take a short break of 3 minutes. And after 3 minutes, we'll come back to hear more stories. A short break of 3 minutes.
Hmm.
Welcome back. If you can hear my voice, start coming back to the screens. And now we come back to Prachi, who's taking us to another passionate teacher and another original story.
She's a counselor, a psychologist, a teacher, and a writer. She wears multiple hats, sorry. She wears multiple hats. Priya Beb, her story is about a teacher telling her own story. Over to you, Priya.
सौम्या, बेटा घर आते वक्त जरा पापड़ लेते आना ना. सौम्या, I need those worksheets today, okay? In any condition. सौम्या यार, बस करना. और कितना पढ़ेगी? सौम्या बेटा, दादी ऊपर जा प्रेली. दियो पहला तो ब्याह कर ले. सौम्या का दिन शुरू ही हुआ था कि उसके दिमाग में इतने ख्याल घूम रहे थे कि वो थक गई थी. वो इन ख्यालों से उभरती उससे पहले उसके फोन पर एक मैसेज आया. सौम्या, I'm not coming to school today. Will you please manage the class? अरे यार, इसे आज ही नहीं आना था. सौम्या और सोचती उससे पहले उसे एक आवाज आई. गुड मॉर्निंग सौम्या टीचर. गुड मॉर्निंग राजवीर, प्लीज सिट। और एक एक करके सौम्या की पूरी वानर सेना क्लास में आई और बैठ गई। सौम्या ने गहरी सांस ली, मुस्कुराई और अपने क्लास को कहा, गुड मॉर्निंग क्लास, आर वी रेडी टू लर्न टुडे? तो पता है आज हम किस बारे में बात करेंगे? हम बात करेंगे अपने सुपर पावर्स की। यू मस्ट बी थिंकिंग, हमारे सुपर पावर्स क्या है? सुपर पावर्स वो चीज है जो हमें डिफरेंट बनाते हैं, जो हमें स्पेशल बनाते हैं, जो हमें यूनिक बनाते हैं। सुपर पावर्स वो हैं जो हमारी ताकत होते हैं। So how are you going to share these superpowers with everyone? I will give you a blank piece of paper. Okay? उस blank piece of paper के साथ आपको कुछ crayons मिलेंगे and you'll get 30 minutes. Take 30 minutes and draw about your superpower. Write your name and tell me what your superpower is. Okay? Are we ready? All of you? ठीक है, चलो एक एक करके आओ, अपनी blank sheets और crayons ले लो, ठीक है? सौम्या की क्लास क्रेयॉन्स और पेपर में खो जाती है और वो अपने ख्यालों में। इनको तो मैंने बोल दिया कि ये अपनी सुपर पावर्स के बारे में सोचे, पर मेरी सुपर पावर क्या है? इज इट द फैक्ट दैट आई शो अप, आई डोंट रन अवे फ्रॉम टफ सिचुएशंस? या मेरी सुपर पावर ये है कि आई एम हाइपर इंडिपेंडेंट, आई डोंट लाइक आस्किंग फॉर हेल्प? या मेरी सुपर पावर ये है कि आई हैव अ वेरी गुड होल्ड ओवर माय इमोशंस, आई कैन मैनेज देम वेरी। अगर मुझे ड्रॉ करना होता तो मैं कौन सी सुपर पावर ड्रॉ करती? सौम्या के दिमाग में ये ख्याल घूम ही रहे थे और उसके मन का शोर बढ़ ही रहा था कि उसे ये रियलाइज हुआ कि उसकी क्लास का शोर एक्चुअली बढ़ने लगा है, मतलब बच्चों की एक्टिविटी खत्म हो गई है। तो उसने धीरे धीरे अपनी क्लास का अटेंशन अपनी ओर किया और कहा, ओके, आई थिंक एवरीवन इज डन विद द एक्टिविटी, राइट? तो हम एक एक करके आएंगे और अपने अपने टास्क जो कंप्लीट हो चुका है हम उसको पूरी क्लास के साथ शेयर करेंगे। आर वी रेडी एवरीवन? वेरी गुड, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। पहले आता है चेतन। चेतन सौम्या को देखता है और कहता है, माई सुपर पावर इज दैट आई कैन शेयर माई टॉयज, आई एम नॉट सेल्फिश। थैंक यू चेतन, आई थिंक शेयरिंग एक्चुअली इज अ वेरी वेरी गुड सुपर पावर। फिर आता है अद्रित। अद्रित पूरी क्लास को देखता है और फिर सौम्या को देखता है और कहता है, माई सुपर पावर इज दैट आई एम वेरी काइंड, आई डोंट शाउट एट पीपल and I don't like when people shout at me. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us, Adrit. फिर आती है भूमिका। भूमिका कहती है, my superpower is no that I get dimples. And my mama says it makes me look really cute. सही तो कहती है उसकी मम्मा। Thank you for sharing that with us, भूमिका। ऐसे करते करते सौम्या की पूरी क्लास आती है और अपने सुपर पावर शेयर करती है। पर एक सुपर पावर है जो सौम्या के मन में रह जाता है और वो है अमायरा का। अमायरा जब आई और उसने अपना पेपर पूरे क्लास को दिखाया, उस पर लिखा था अमायरा, नीचे बना था एक स्टिक फिगर जो रो रहा था और लिखा था, माई सुपर पावर इज दैट आई कैन क्राई। सौम्या के दिमाग में पता नहीं क्यों ये बात रह गई। उसकी क्लास रुकी, आर्ट के लिए गई, डांस के लिए गई, फिर बैग पैक करके घर चली गई और सौम्या अपने ख्यालों और बिखरे हुए क्लास को समेटने लगी। धीरे धीरे वो सारा सामान बटोर कर अपनी जगह पर रख रही थी कि उसने देखा कोने में पड़ी उस कुर्सी के नीचे एक पेपर का टुकड़ा फंसा है। She walked there and she removed that piece of paper. उसने जब उस पेपर को घुमाया, उस पेपर पे लिखा था, अमायरा, सुपर पावर, आई कैन क्राई। और पता नहीं क्यों सौम्या के पैर लड़खड़ाए and she sat on that chair. She hugged herself and she cried and she cried and she cried.
Like Ankit says, I just feel just hold this moment for like few seconds. It was very beautiful. You know, just day before yesterday, I had a conversation with my mom And I was telling her that, I cry a little easily. And she says, it's weakness, Prachi. She calls me Ritu. So she says, Ritu, kamzor log rote hain. And I wanted to tell her that you have been told this from your childhood, but I don't have to carry it, and I love crying because that's one way that I release. So yeah, it's actually a superpower to cry. Thank you so much, Priya, for sharing this. It was one of the most beautiful stories we have heard today. Ankit, do you want to add something?
I want to hear Priya, and then I'll also add my bit. Priya, tell us more.
So for me, it's the opposite actually. I am very emotional as a person, but I can't cry at work. I've had really, really bad days at work. But for some reason, I've never let myself express at work. And I don't work with pre-primary grades. I work with the higher grades, 11th and 12th. So often when I'm disturbed, I usually go and sit in the pre-primary section library. I don't know why. It's just very soothing. Like, looking at those kids not caring about the world just in their own manner, the librarian is reading a book to them, they are enjoying, they're asking questions. And there was this point where, a student of mine and we write on shared prompts. And I wanted to give the prompt for that month. And I'm like, the ability to cry was the prompt. I'm like, bhai, kya likhu is pe? I have like no idea. And somehow just everything fell in place because this story came out from that one prompt. And it's been, I express myself more in the written manner, but I just wanted to do justice to this one piece in a spoken format. And it's been really close to my heart. So I'm so happy that I got this platform to share the story. And trust me when I say this, I have like a very poker face. So काफी लोग ऐसे, मतलब my students have also told me कि ma'am, you don't laugh easily. Like once I was laughing in class and they're like, you've never seen you laugh. And I'm like, it's not something that I do on purpose. It's just how I am as a person. So yeah, I think the ability to express more emotions would be a superpower for me. So
Yes, and being a teacher, so much work. Anybody who's been a teacher ever, even for a short amount of time, would understand exactly what is behind the story, all the work behind the story, all the work that goes unnoticed in the story. So in the classroom. So thank you so much, Priya, for being a teacher, for thinking, reflecting about your life and work, and for bringing it as a story for others. Once when you are settled and done and you look at the video of this performance, you'll notice everybody who's ever been a teacher, how they were nodding along and feeling alongside when you were telling this story. So thank you so much for bringing this story. It's an original story, of course, coming from her reflections. Anything more you want to say, Priya?
yes, so I initially had about, I have a lot of stories. So I got it down to 4 stories and I've been reaching out to people. And one of them is here in the meeting and also Ankit. And, I was like, now I need to narrow it down to one story. And, Ankit suggested take superpower. And then I come back after 2 weeks and I'm like, no, I have another story which is to do with the current scenario. And there's been so much back and forth, but I'm so glad that we had this platform to share with everyone and take their perspectives and understand that, which story will resonate well with the audience. I mean, of course, we all feel for our stories, but in the end, it's also a connection that everyone somewhere needs to feel with the story. And I'll go back to something that Ankit had mentioned in the first ever practice session that I had, where I was confused about the closing line. And I was like, कि है मेरे दिमाग में कुछ, but अभी इस meeting में maybe I'm not sharing it because it'll sort of kill the magic of the story. And he had told me कि कितना भी practice कर लो, उस दिन जब आप ये story सुनाओगे, everybody is going to resonate with it at the same level, if not more. And I think I could feel that, so I'm sure everyone else also felt that. So thank you.
We did. We absolutely did connect. Like Ankit was saying, he saw a lot of them nod their heads. All right, now moving to the next story. Maya, she's a certified yoga trainer, marketing in print media and education. Her story is in Gujarati. And it's about an old man who leaves behind a lot of money and no one knows its whereabouts. Stingy, huh? Let's hear it from you, Maya.
આજે હું તમને કહેવાની છું ધનીચંદની વાત. નામ એનું ધનીચંદ, પણ ખૂબ જ કંજૂસ. લગ્નમાં જમવા જાય ને તો આખા ઘર જમીને તો આવે, સાથે સાથે સાંજનું જમવાનું પણ લઈને આવે કે સાંજના જમવાના પૈસા બચી જાય. એની ચંપલ જો તૂટી જાય ને તો સીવડાવીને ચંપલ પહેરીએ રાખે. તેના આવા કંજૂસ સ્વભાવને કારણે તેના ચારે દીકરાઓ ખૂબ પરેશાન. ચારે દીકરાઓને એવું લાગતું કે પિતાજીએ તો ખૂબ સારું ધન ભેગું કરી રાખ્યું હશે, આટલી કંજૂસાઈ તો કરે છે. ઘણો સમય વીતી ગયો, ઘણા વર્ષો વીતી ગયા. ધનીચંદ હવે વૃદ્ધ થઈ ગયો. એકવાર ધનીચંદ બીમાર પડી ગયો અને પથારીવશ થઈ ગયો. પથારીમાં પડીએ ધનીચંદ ચારે દીકરાઓને વારે વારે ઈશારો કરતો હતો. પોતાના ધ્રુજતા હાથે દરવાજા તરફ કઈ બતાવી રહ્યો હતો. વારે વારે આ ઈશારો કરી રહ્યો હતો. તેના ચારેય છોકરાઓને લાગ્યું કે પિતાજી તેના મરણ સમયે તેની રાખેલી ધન સંપત્તિ ક્યાં છે એ કહેવા માંગે છે અને આપણને ખૂબ ધન સંપત્તિ આપવા માંગે છે. પહેલા છોકરાએ વિચાર્યું કે મેં તો પિતાજીના ધંધામાં ખૂબ મહેનત કરી છે, મને તો અડધી સંપત્તિ મળવી જ જોઈએ. બીજાએ વિચાર્યું પિતાજી મને જે પણ સંપત્તિ આપશે ને તેનાથી હું તો બીજો બિઝનેસ ચાલુ કરીશ. ત્રીજાએ વિચાર્યું કે મેં તો પિતાજીની ખૂબ સેવા કરી છે, પિતાજી મને ખૂબ સારી ધન સંપત્તિ આપશે. ચોથાએ વિચાર્યું કે મને પિતાજી જે પણ સંપત્તિ આપે તેનાથી હું બાકીની જિંદગી શાંતિથી વ્યતીત કરીશ. આમ વિચારીને ચારે દીકરાઓ ધનીચંદની સેવા સરભરામાં લાગી ગયા. મોટા વેધને બોલાવ્યા, મોંઘી મોંઘી દવા કરાવી, ખૂબ પૈસો ખર્ચ કર્યો. થોડા સમય પછી ધનીચંદ હોશમાં આવ્યો. ચારેય દીકરાઓ તો ખુશ થઈ ગયા કે હવે તો સંપત્તિ ક્યાં છે એ કહેશે પિતાજી. અને ખુશી ખુશી ધનીચંદ પાસે ગયા. ફરી પાછું ધનીચંદે એ જ એના ધ્રુજતા હાથે દરવાજા તરફ ઈશારો કરવા લાગ્યા. ધનીચંદે બધી તાકાત એકઠી કરી અને બોલ્યા, અરે મૂર્ખાઓ, દેખાતો નથી તમને? પેલો ગધેડો ક્યારનો આપણું ઝાડુ ખાય છે દરવાજા પર. જાઓ, એને કોઈ રોકો, નહીં તો ઝાડુ લેવાના પાછા પૈસા ખર્ચાશે. આમ કહી ને ધનીચંદ મૃત્યુ પામ્યો. હવે શું થશે ચાર છોકરાઓનું? थैंक यू।
चलिए इसी कहानी को बहुत ही संक्षिप्त में हिंदी में सुनते हैं ताकि जो लोग गुजराती नहीं समझ पाए वो भी इस कहानी को समझ सके। तो ये कहानी है धनीचंद नाम के एक इंसान की। नाम का धनीचंद था, बाकी इतना कंजूस कि जब शादी का न्योता आता था सब परिवार जाके खा तो आता ही था, बट अगले दिन का खाना भी पैक करा के ले आता था ताकि एक वक्त के खाने के पैसे बच सके। अगर उसकी चप्पल टूट जाती तो 4 बार 10 बार उसी चप्पल को सिलवा सिलवा के बार बार पहनता ताकि नई चप्पल ना लेनी पड़े। उसके 4 बेटे और चारों इससे तंग आए हुए थे कि हमारे पिताजी इतने कंजूस क्यों हैं। मगर एक बात की उन्हें एटलीस्ट दिलासा था कि जब पिताजी दुनिया छोड़ के जाएंगे हमारे लिए शायद बहुत पैसा छोड़कर जाएंगे। और आखिर वो दिन आ ही गया। धनीचंद बहुत बीमार पड़ गए और अपनी मृत्युशैया पर थे। बच्चे दुखी तो थे मगर उन्हें ये भी उम्मीद थी कि जब भी पिताजी जाएंगे हमारे लिए छोड़ के जाएंगे, और उन्होंने पहले ही सपने देखने शुरू कर दिए। मैं तो सबसे बड़ा बेटा हूँ, मुझे सबसे ज्यादा पैसा मिलेगा तो मैं भी अपना व्यापार शुरू करूंगा। मैं तो सबसे छोटा सबसे लाडला हूँ, मुझे तो शायद ये घर मिल जाए। मैं तो जो मिलेगा उसमें खुश रहूंगा। सब अपने अपने तरीके से प्लान बनाने लग गए। मगर पैसा है कहाँ, ये अभी तक किसी को नहीं पता था। धनीचंद इतने बीमार कि होश में ही नहीं। अब चारों बच्चों ने पिताजी की इतनी सेवा करी, उनके इलाज पर इतना पैसा खर्च किया कि पिताजी ने एक दिन आंखें खोली। अब बच्चे खुश कि आज हमें पता चल जाएगा कि पिताजी का धन कहाँ है। कांपते हाथों से धनीचंद ने एक तरफ इशारा किया। बच्चे खुश, अब पिताजी बताएंगे कि पैसा कहाँ है। धनीचंद ने अपने शरीर में जितनी ताकत थी लगा कर कहा, अरे बेवकूफो, दरवाजे की तरफ देखो, घर में गधा घुस आया है और झाड़ू खा रहा है। अगर वो झाड़ू खा गया तो नया झाड़ू लेना पड़ेगा, पैसे खर्च हो जाएंगे। और ये कहते ही धनीचंद की आखिरी सांस निकल गई और चारों बच्चे बस सोचते ही रह गए कि अब पैसे कहाँ है, कैसे पता चलेगा। थैंक यू।
खूब सरस माया जी। प्लीज अपनी जर्नी के बारे में हमें कुछ बताएं माया जी।
पहले तो थैंक यू कहना चाहूंगी सालू जी को, इतने अच्छे से मेरी कहानी हिंदी में बताई और उन्होंने मुझे बहुत बहुत एनकरेज किया। अपराजिता ने और सालू जी ने बहुत ही मेरी हेल्प की। स्टोरी जितनी बार भी मैं उनको कहती थी तो वो आते थे और मुझे मेरी स्टोरी सुनते थे और मुझे गाइड करते थे। और अंकित जी को भी थैंक यू, और यहाँ पे जितने भी ब्यूटीफुल ब्यूटीफुल पर्सन है सबको थैंक यू। जो मेरे क्लास में थे उनको भी, कि उन्होंने भी बहुत सपोर्ट किया। मैं बताना चाहूंगी मैं क्या काम कर रही हूँ, वो आपसे शेयर करना चाहूंगी। मैं यहाँ पे गुजरात में सूरत में रहती हूँ। यहाँ पे हम लोग एक ओटलो लाइब्रेरी करके ट्रस्ट चलाते हैं। वहां पे हम मंथ में एक बार संडे को, लास्ट संडे को हम बुक रिव्यू करते हैं। जैसे जिसने भी जो बुक पढ़ी हो वो लाके वहां पे रिव्यू कर सकते हैं, 4 या 5 जन। तो वो काम हम करते हैं कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग बुक पढ़े और थोड़ी रीडिंग की, और इतनी सारा नॉलेज है हमारे, इतने सारा लिटरेचर है, तो वो सबके पास जाए। कम से कम वो अगर रीडिंग नहीं कर पा रहे तो यहाँ पे आएंगे तो वो 4 बुक का तो एटलीस्ट जान पाएंगे कि क्या है बुक्स में, तो वो सुन के भी उनको पता चलेगा। तो बस अभी तो यही जर्नी है। इसके साथ साथ मैंने स्टोरी टेलिंग सीखी है जो मुझे वहां पे भी काम आती है। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू, धन्यवाद माया जी। अंकित, यू वांट टू से समथिंग?
यस, थैंक यू माया जी। आपने इस कहानी को यहाँ तक लेके आए, आपने बिल्कुल भी हिम्मत नहीं हारी, आप जूझते रहे। माया जी ने एक्चुअली एक और कहानी तैयार की थी, पर उस कहानी के कुछ हिस्से हमें ढंग से मिल नहीं पा रहे थे। जिस भाषा में वो सुनाना चाहती थी उस भाषा में हम उसको खोज नहीं पा रहे थे। फिर अचानक एक शाम मैंने बातों ही बातों में ये कहानी उनको सुनाई और उन्होंने इस कहानी को बिल्कुल अपना कर लिया। और आज जब मैं उस कहानी को वापस सुन रहा हूँ तो मुझे बहुत मजा आ रहा है, क्योंकि मैंने इतनी मजेदार नहीं सुनाई थी। मैंने उनको इस कहानी की समरी दी थी और उन्होंने अपने हिसाब से इस कहानी को अपने भाषा में, अपने पसंद के हिसाब से ढाल लिया। और बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इस कहानी को अपनी भाषा में सुनाने के लिए। और शालू के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। शालू जस्ट jumped in few nights ago on a very quick call. I just asked, शालू, एक क्राइसिस है आपको आना है और एक कहानी को हिंदी में सुनाना है। और शालू ने बस वो हाँ कहा और उसके बाद शालू को मैं सीधा आज देख रहा हूँ। और इतनी भरोसेमंद शालू है हमारे लिए, इस कम्युनिटी के एक एल्डर के रूप में काम करते हैं। शालू, हाउ डू यू फील हेल्पिंग अस लास्ट मिनट विद दिस?
और मुझे तो बहुत मजा आया, मुझे कहानियां सुनना सुनाना वैसे ही, मतलब आई ऑलवेज सेड कि मुझे माइक दे दो, पोडियम दे दो, मेरी बकवास खत्म नहीं होती है। तो आई एंजॉयड लिसनिंग टू माया जी, प्रैक्टिसिंग विद हर, एंड देन हैविंग अ लॉट ऑफ अदर कॉन्वर्सेशंस आल्सो। एंड मेरे लिए भी बहुत लास्ट मिनट था बिकॉज अ लॉट ऑफ अदर थिंग्स वर गोइंग ऑन, बट मजा आया। द स्टोरी वाज सच अ फन स्टोरी कि मतलब कुछ याद करने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी, जो मन में आया सुनाया, बड़ा मजा आया।
थैंक यू शालू, थैंक यू माया।
बड़ा मजा आया. Very truly said, Shalu ji. Very true. बहुत मजा आया. Now moving on to the second last story of the evening. Tip Tipwa is a folk story brought to us by Anshu. It's a regional story from the land of Bihar, where a tiger is scared of his new mysterious creature that her grandmom describes. Let's hear it directly from Anshu.
2 दिनों से गांव में सांझ की बैठकी नहीं हो रही। पूरा गांव मूसलाधार बारिश से परेशान है। पर हमेशा की तरह चिंटू कहानी सुनने के लिए बेकरार है। लेकिन दादी, वो तो बारिश से बहुत परेशान है। कभी पानी इधर रोकती, कभी पानी इधर रोकती। दादी दादी, कहानी सुनाओ ना। अरे बचवा, का कहीं ई बरखा से तो परेशान है। न हमरा सिरवा से डर, न हमरा बघवा से डर। डर त डर ई टिप टिपवा से डर। टिप टिपवा? दादी, ये टिप टिपवा कौन है? और इसी बीच जंगल से एक बाघ बारिश से बचने के लिए चिंटू के घर के पास आ गया था। और दादी की ये बातें सुनते वो सोचता, अरे ये टिप टिपवा कौन है? और ये औरत इससे इतना क्यों डर रही है? लगता है ये मुझसे और इंसानों से ज्यादा भयंकर है। कहीं ये मुझ पे आतंकी हमला न कर दे, मुझे अपनी जान बचानी चाहिए। और ये कहते हुए बाघ वहां से भाग जाता है। गांव में दूसरी तरफ धोबी और उसकी पत्नी बड़ा हैरान है। उनका गधा जो गुम हो जाता है। अजी सुनते हो, सारे जगह छान मारा, लेकिन हमरा गधा कहीं नहीं मिला। जरा पंडित जी के घर हो आओ ना, पूछो उनके पोथी पत्री में बताएं हमारा गधा कहाँ गया। सही कहती हो महाराज, पंडित जी से ये पूछ के आते हैं हम। और ये कहते ही धोबी पंडित जी के घर चला गया। बाकी सबकी तरह पंडित जी भी इस टिपटिपुआ से बड़ा परेशान है। कहीं पानी इधर उलझ रहे हैं, कहीं पानी उधर उलझ रहे हैं। पंडित जी, सुबेरे से बड़ा परेशान हैरान है। हमारा गधा नहीं मिल रहा है। तनी अपने पोथी पत्रा में देख के बताई ना, हमारा गधा कहाँ गया? पंडित जी झल्लाते हुए, अच्छा, तो अब तुम्हारे गधे का पता हमरा पोथी पत्रा देगा? जाओ जाओ और अपना काम करो और अपना गधा खुद ही ढूंढो। तो भी मायूस हो जाता है, पर ठानता है कि आज तो मैं गधे की खैर नहीं। और उसने अपनी लट उठाई और बढ़ता गया। कुछ दूर गया, अब अंधेरा हो चुका है, कुछ साफ दिखाई नहीं दे रहा। तभी अचानक घाट के पास कुछ गड़गड़ाहट आवाज आ रही है झाड़ियों से। ये क्या? अरे ससुरा, तुम यहीं बैठा है? दे दनादन, दे दनादन, दे दनादन। उसने लठ उठाई, उसके पीठ पे दे मारी। भाग कुछ समझ ही पाता, लगता है टिपटिपुआ ने मुझ पे आक्रमण कर दिया है। और धोबी ने रस्सी झट से उठाई और पट से उसके कंधे में बांधा और उसे खीसा हुआ ले गया। रास्ते में कहा, आज तुमने बहुत परेशान किया, कल तुम्हारी खैर नहीं। आज मैं बहुत थक गया हूं। ये कहते ही उसने उसको खूंटे से बांधा और घर के अंदर सोने चला गया। सुबह हो चुकी है, आज बारिश बंद हो गई है और धूप भी खिल गई। और ये क्या, पूरा गांव धोबी के घर के सामने इकट्ठा हो जाता है। अरे, जो काम सरकार नहीं कर सकी, जो काम दरोगा नहीं कर सका, वो काम धोबी ने कर दिखाया और हमें इस बाघ की जाल से बचा दिया। और पर ये क्या, धोबी और उसकी पत्नी बड़ा हैरान है। अरे अजी, हमारा गधा कहाँ गया? सही कहती हो, ये बाघ किसने बांध दिया? और तब से धोबी और उसकी पत्नी अपने गधे को ढूंढ रहे हैं। अच्छा, आपको कहीं उसका गधा दिखे तो खबर जरूर करना। थैंक्स।
Thank you so much, Anshu. Very beautiful. कैसे बोलेंगे भोजपुरी में? मजा आ गया?
बहुत बढ़िया।
बहुत बढ़िया. प्लीज बताइए हमें इस पूरे जर्नी के बारे में।
पहले हम शुरुआत करना चाहते हैं स्टोरी टेलिंग कोर्स। जब हम लास्ट दिन था इनरोल करने का, तो आई फाउंड ऑन लिंक्डइन पोस्ट अंकित का। इमीडिएट मुझे वो 2019 का वो फ्लैशबैक याद आया गया, जब व्हेन आई वाज स्टूडेंट इन टेस्ट एंड अंकित कंडक्टेड वन वर्कशॉप देयर ऑफ स्टोरी टेलिंग हमारे एनुअल फेस्ट में। तो मैंने उस समय एनरोल कर लिया, लाइक ऑलवेज आई क्रेव फॉर लर्निंग। पता मुझे नहीं पता था कि मैं स्टोरी से इतना मेरा जुड़ाव है, और ये अनफोल्ड हुआ इन दिस जर्नी फ्रॉम द डे वन जब हमने अपने लिए लेटर लिखा। और आई थिंक आई थिंक इट विल गो ऑन। मेरे पास शब्द नहीं है। पूरे प्योर लर्निंग जो सेशन होते थे उन सब में अनफोल्ड, और हर एक सेशन के बाद मतलब कुछ कुछ सेशन बहुत इंटेंस होते थे फॉर मी। एंड ऑलवेज आई राइट टू अंकित कि दिस गिव्स मी ऑलवेज ब्रिंगिंग मी माय ओन चाइल्डहुड दिस सेशन। तो और ये स्टोरी उन्होंने बोला कि आप कुछ अपना जो तो आपको पसंद हो। तो मैं हमेशा से चाहती हूँ कि जब जहाँ मेरा रूट्स है, तो वो आई थिंक इट वाज इजियर टू चूज। और ऑल्सो आई फॉर द स्टोरी अपराजिता एंड मोहिनेश एंड डॉक्टर स्वाति एंड अंकित ऑफ कोर्स, they all helped me कि कैसे करना है। रुशाली gave me RPA learner, she gave me कि हाँ एंडिंग कैसे हो सकता है। तो या और लास्ट में मेरी माँ ने मुझे कल बोला कि तुम्हारा प्रोग्राम हो गया। हमने नहीं, अभी तो कल है। तो शी से नहीं, तुम तो सुना रही थी किसी को, बहुत अच्छा सुना रही थी। फिर आज मैंने फाइनल रिहर्सल अपनी माँ के साथ किया एंड शी वाज लाइक बहुत ही अच्छा है। तो मुझे लगा कि यस, तो मुझे मुझे बहुत मजा आया।
थैंक यू, हमें भी बड़ा मजा आया। अंकित, you wanna add something?
I just want to acknowledge the kind of learner Anshu was. अंशु जिस सेशन में होती है ना, उस सेशन में फैसिलिटेटर को थोड़ा डर लगता है, क्योंकि अंशु के सवाल इतने रिफ्लेक्टिव और इतने शार्प होते थे। मतलब मुझे हमेशा मेरी एक नजर अंशु पे रहती थी कि अंशु कुछ पूछ रही है, और मैं अपने साथ हमेशा डायरी पेन लिखता था कि वो टेस्ट से पढ़ी है, मैं भी टेस्ट से पढ़ा हूँ, और मुझे पता है कि उन्होंने काफी फील्ड में काम किया है, उन्होंने बच्चों के साथ काफी काम किया है। तो उनके जो सवाल होते थे वो काफी पैने होते थे, और काफी बहुत सारी सोच उसमें भरी होती थी। तो एज अ टीचर आपको वो जो डर लगता है वो बहुत ही प्यारा डर है कि मेरी क्लास में एक ऐसा भी लर्नर है जो ये भी पूछ सकता है, और आप उसके लिए हमेशा एक एक्स्ट्रा तैयारी करते हैं। तो अंशु और बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग, शायद दिशा भी, बहुत सारे ऐसे लर्नर, जो रुशाली भी, अन्वेषा भी, जो एजुकेशन को पढ़ भी चुके हैं, काफी गहराई से इन्होंने इन सारी रीडिंग्स की भी पढ़ाई की है जो हम शेयर करते हैं। तो इन सबको क्लासरूम में एक साथ होना, इनके साथ होना मेरे लिए एक बहुत गर्व की बात होती है, और बहुत मेहनत लगती है इनको पढ़ाने में। तो इससे मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि जब लर्नर्स और सवाल पूछते हैं तो बहुत मजा आता है, और अंशु एक बेहतरीन लर्नर है। शुक्रिया अंशु।
थैंक यू।
All right. I think when we started the session, I think a couple of them couldn't join. So what we would do is we would go back to listening Harsha and Rasika Preeti about their story of the mountain, the bird, the love. When you were sharing the story, I could just build the visuals. And one of the visuals that's still stuck in my head is I was imagining the mountain and the roots, going deep within it. So that was one of the most beautiful visual I actually imagined in my head. And I can't wait to hear you guys again. So all of you just brace yourselves. It's going to be the last story of the evening. Over to you guys.
Thank you. There was once a mountain of bare stone, and it stood in the middle of a desert plain. No plant grew on its hard slope, no animal, no insect ever lived on it. The mountain would stand up right in the desert, looking at the sky and the billowing clouds, and it had nothing to do. All day long, it would watch the sun pass by and during the night, it knew the course of the moon. The only touch the mountain had ever felt was the touch of rain and the chill of the wind. That's all it knew. On a clear night, it would just watch the weaving of the far-off stars. And this is how the mountain lived for many, many years. One day, a little bird came and sat on the ledge of the mountain, and it started preening its feathers. The mountain had never felt anything like this before. It felt the claws, the tiny claws of the small bird and its dry texture on its ledge. And it could also feel the soft feathers and its warmth. The mountain was amazed. This was a new experience for the mountain. The mountain asked the bird, "Who are you? What is your name?" "I'm a bird. My name is Joy. Every spring, I look out for places to build my nest. After resting here, I'll continue my search. I've not seen anything like you before. Do you have to go? Can you not stay? There's nothing for me to eat or drink here. Will you come back again sometime?" Joy sat quiet for a while. No mountain ever cared where I came from and where I go. You're the first one who's asked me this. So I shall come to you every spring, but only for a few hours. I'd be very happy, even if it's for very few hours, to see you every spring. There's something you should know. You mountains last forever. We birds don't. So there may be very few springs that I may return. It would be very sad to know that you'll not return. And it will be even sadder to know that you'll fly away and may never come back again. Joy was silent and kept quiet, and then sang a beautiful bell-like song. The mountain had never heard a song before. So happy to hear birds sing. And then Joy made a promise to the mountain. "I shall come back each spring to meet you, to greet you, and to sing to you." The mountain was shocked. How can the bird come back every year? "I know I may not be able to return every spring, but I will have a daughter, and I will name her Joy. I'll tell her where to find you, and she will have another daughter who will also be named Joy. And so each Joy will have a daughter Joy. Each spring I shall come to you, to meet you, to greet you, and to sing to you. Goodbye until next spring." And Joy flew into the horizon, and the mountain looked at the bird fly until it became invisible into far distance.
Year after year, when spring came, a small bird flew to the mountain and sang to it, "I'm Joy, and I have come to greet you." And for few hours she would sing and talk to the mountain and fly in circles above it, and time stood still. At the end of each visit, the mountain always asked the bird, "Can you not stay?" No, but I will return next year, the bird would reply and fly away. Each year, the mountain looked forward more and more to meet Joy, and each year it grew harder and harder for him to see her go like this. 99 springs passed, and on the 100th spring, for the last time, Mountain asked, "Can you not stay?" And the bird replied again, "No, but I will return next year." This time it broke his heart, and the hard stone cracked, and tears gushed down, and it rolled down from its side. Next spring, when the bird came again, the mountain was just weeping and weeping and weeping. She sang to him, she spoke to him, she flew around him, but the mountain kept weeping, thinking, it's only a matter of time, she will go again. And the bird quietly whispered, I will return next year. And she flew once again. Next spring, when Joy came, she brought a tiny seed in her beak, and she carefully tucked it by a stream in such a way that the seed remained moist, but it didn't flow away by the river. And every year, little by little, Joy kept bringing one seed and placing it in safe corners by the stream. Every year, the mountain was slowly changing, but he was too blind to notice anything. He was just weeping and weeping and weeping. Meanwhile, the roots of the very first seed went deeper and deeper into the heart of the mountain. At last, the mountain felt the root reaching its cracked and gentle fingers, like roots, they were filling and healing the cracks in his heart. Sorrow faded away, and the tears of sorrow now turned into tears of joy that ran laughing down the slides. And for as far as the mountain could see, it was all green. There was moss that began to grow on the sheltered corners. The grasses were growing, and there were so many flowers, and insects ran over it because the wind carried them over, and they scurried over the leaves. And from beyond the horizon, small animals started coming and feeding on the mountain slope. This gave the mountain so much hope that he opened his heart and allowed all the strength, gave all the strength to the roots to grow taller, and the trees became taller, and he let more springs just run laughing on its slope. So more plants grew, more animals started coming, and birds and insects were all over, and it was full green and beautiful once again. And now the mountain had hope. Once again, spring came. Once again, Joy flew. Once again, Mountain asked, "Can you not stay?" This time, Joy did not answer. She simply flew to the tallest tree. This was the very first tree planted on that mountain. And Joy carefully placed a twig on one of its safe branches. And she announced to his friend, "I am Joy, and I have come to stay."
The very question, will you stay? Oh, my heart just sinks every time you're saying that. Such a beautiful story. Very beautiful, guys. Harsha, Rasika, Preeti, amazing. Very beautiful. Even listening it to the second time, you're transported to, the mountain, and that mountain turning into green, and the trees and everything going exactly like you guys are describing it. The butterflies fluttering, the birds. Oh, it's just so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing with us the story again. And now I think we conclude. But before we conclude, I would like to thank all the mentors. Specifically, I'll read out all the names. Mohinish, Sarvika, Swati, Shalu, Hima, Sheetal, sorry, I struggled with that name before. Aparajita, Sharmila, Yashas, and Ambika. Thank you so much, guys, for putting in so much of your time and effort and energy in helping people like us who are just learning. And you guys are, of course, mentors and helping us do this better. And thank you so much once again for doing this. I would like to invite any one of the mentors to share with us their journey and their experience working with, the new batch. Anyone, just raise your hands, or I can even call out.
I can say Shalu. Let's start with Shalu.
Okay, Shalu then.
हाँ, मुझे हर जगह आगे कर दो। मुझे बहुत मजा आया और मैं हिंदी में बोलने वाली हूँ क्योंकि आज मैंने जिंदगी में पहली बार हिंदी में कहानी सुनाई है। मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा। हम लोग बोलते हैं ना कि जब आप किसी और की मदद करने जाते हो कुछ सीखने में तो आप खुद भी कुछ सीखते हो। तो मैंने जो दोनों कहानियां जिनमें सबसे ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन दिया टू हेल्प देम प्रिपेयर, डिम्पल और माया जी की, दोनों वर्नाक्युलर कहानियां थी और मुझे भी काफी उस चीज से सीखने को मिला। तो मेरे लिए खुद के लिए भी एक बहुत लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस था। और मुझे जब मैं किसी और को परफॉर्म करते देखती हूँ मुझे बड़ी खुशी होती है। तो जो डिम्पल बोल रही थी ना कि मतलब मुझे खुद को ऐसे एंग्जाइटी होती थी कि अच्छा आज प्रैक्टिस किया या नहीं किया, एक बार और कर लेते हैं। तो मैं सामने से दोनों को बार बार मैसेज करती थी कि मैं अब फ्री हूँ, मैं इतने घंटों के लिए अवेलेबल हूँ, आ जाओ अगर किसी के पास टाइम है तो इट वॉज अ गुड लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस फॉर मी एज वेल। मैं एक चीज पूछना चाहती हूँ, मुझे ऑडियंस में एक नाम दिखाई दे रहा है जो कि अंकित, मुझे लग रहा है शायद क्या वो आपके पिताजी हैं? अगर है तो क्या हम कुछ उनसे एक हाय हेलो कर सकते हैं, उनके व्यूज सुन सकते हैं, उनकी शक्ल देख सकते हैं इफ इज कंफर्टेबल?
नाम से तो लग रहा है। अगर पापा मम्मी आप सुन सकते हैं तो आप कैमरा ऑन करके या बोल के हमें
क्योंकि
बताएं कि
हमने
आपको।
अंकित की कहानियों के जरिए आपको बहुत सुना है, देखा है, बट बहुत ही
हाँ,
सौभाग्य होगा अगर
मेरे
आपसे कुछ
पेरेंट्स
सुन
ही हैं।
सके हम।
हाँ, अब हम सब आपको देख सकते हैं, आप लोग बोल सकते हैं।
अभी जो सेशन चल रहा था तो काफी कहानियां सुनी हैं। पूरा सेशन तो मैंने कवर नहीं किया है, लेकिन काफी अच्छी लगी। और बहुत मतलब जैसे एक बिहार से उन्होंने कहानी सुनाई थी। अभी जो पहली और आखिरी कहानी जो पहाड़ वाली थी, तो काफी मजेदार कहानी थी और काफी एनर्जी के साथ सुनाई गई। तो बहुत अच्छा लगा। और वही है कि अपना बचपन भी याद आ गया इससे। बचपन में लौट जाते हैं, कहानियों में एकदम खो जाते हैं। तो मजा आ गया एक बार फिर से।
मम्मी आपको कैसी लगी?
हमको एक बबली और बबलू वाली कहानी बहुत अच्छी लगी।
सिंध वाली जो कहानी थी।
और हाँ, और गुजराती जो भाषा थी वो भी बहुत अच्छी कहानी लगी, मतलब पूरी समझ में आई।
माया
बाद में
जी की जो
हालांकि
कहानी थी,
अनुवाद भी साथ में।
कंजूस वाली।
हाँ हाँ।
हाँ, अच्छी लगी।
लेकिन प्रेजेंटेशन सभी का बहुत ही अच्छा था। काफी एनर्जी के साथ उन्होंने, काफी मेहनत के साथ उन्होंने प्रेजेंट किया और अच्छी तैयारी की।
थैंक यू मम्मी पापा। द स्पेस इज ओपन। अगर और कोई ऑडियंस में से, मेंटर्स में से जो कोई भी यहाँ हो, अगर वो जोड़ना चाहे, उनके लिए शाम कैसी थी, इन सारी कहानियों को सुनना कैसा था। एक और इंसान है जिससे मैं आप सबको एक बार मिलाना चाहूंगा। आप प्रणाली, अगर आप एक बार सबसे मिल पाए, क्योंकि अगर आपने लिंक मांगा है, अगर आपने टिकट्स के लिए किसी से बात की है, अगर आपने पोस्टर्स के लिए बात की है, तो मुमकिन है आपकी मदद प्रणाली ने की हो। तो एक बार हम चाहेंगे हम सब आपको देख सकें, और अगर आप हमारे लर्नर्स के लिए कुछ बोल सकें।
Hi. Okay. I am a bit nervous, but yes, it was lovely to hear all the stories और बहुत ही मज़ा आया। मतलब मैं बैकग्राउंड में मेरा कैमरा इसलिए ऑफ रखती हूँ ताकि क्योंकि कुछ टिकट्स आए तो मैं बैकग्राउंड में रिस्पॉन्ड कर पाऊँ। पर आज इतना मज़ा आ रहा था दोनों दिन से कि मैं भूल जा रही हूँ कि मुझे वो भी चेक करना है और मैं बार-बार इधर ही आ जाती हूँ। और आई थिंक आई वाज़ लॉस्ट इन द स्टोरीज़ थ्रूआउट। और सारी कहानियाँ बहुत मज़ा आया मुझे। और स्पेशली बीइंग फ्रॉम गुजरात, मुझे थोड़ा बायस है गुजराती कहानियों से, तो मुझे चारण कन्या कल सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगा। और आज माया जी ने मतलब एकदम बचपन में जैसे मेरी नानी सुनाती थी मुझे कहानी, वैसे मुझे याद आ गया, तो बहुत अच्छा लगा। और सबकी कहानी बहुत अच्छी थी और आप लोगों ने बहुत मेहनत की है, और थैंक यू फॉर presenting your stories, and it was lovely to have you all. Yes.
Thank you, Pranali. And I can see some hands, so let me call the hands. Disha, and then Anvesha, and then Priya.
Yeah, storytelling, I mean, as an educator, I just want to kind of give an example of how this course moved me and impacted me in ways that I want to give that as an example. So I teach grade 11 and 12 literature, and literature is like, I love literature, the stories and everything, because I think where I am today, it's also because of the stories that I've heard and, studied. बट कभी कभार क्या होता है ना, जब स्कूल में होते हैं, पढ़ाना होता है, एक प्रेशर होता है, तो आप शायद उस स्टोरी का, उस कहानी का, या कोई भी नॉवल आप पढ़ते हैं बच्चों के लिए, तो उसका फोकस रिस्पॉन्स पे होता है, आंसर पे होता है, पेपर पे होता है। तो कभी कभार वो असेंस जो होता है ना बच्चों को उस कहानी का समझाने के लिए, उससे कनेक्ट करवाने के लिए, वो हम शायद कहीं ना कहीं इस बैटल में भूल जाते हैं। बट मैं एक बहुत अच्छी नॉवल पढ़ा रही हूँ ग्रेड 12 में, थिंग्स फॉल अपार्ट बाय चिन्नू अचेबी। तो मैं अपना लेसन प्लान बना रही थी। आई एम जस्ट शेयरिंग दिस इंसिडेंट ऑफ माय थिंकिंग बिफोर दिस कोर्स एंड माय थिंकिंग आफ्टर दिस कोर्स। सो आई वाज मेकिंग अ लेसन प्लान कि अच्छा ये चैप्टर्स पढ़ाने हैं, इनको इस तरीके से टेस्ट करेंगे, ये स्किल्स मुझे पढ़ानी है, टारगेट है, तो टेस्ट के थ्रू मैं ये पढ़ा लूंगी। अब क्योंकि थिंग्स फॉल अपार्ट इज अ वेरी डिस्टिंक्टिव नॉवल इन द सेंस दैट चिन्नू अचेबी brings back his Igbo culture, Nigerian culture into narration, into story telling. So even though he is writing it in a novel form, he uses oral telling, oral storytelling as a distinctive style for this story. To bring alive and to write about a third world country from his perspective, defying the Western canonical literature. सो अब उसमें जब मैं कल पुण्यकोटि स्टोरी भी सुन रही थी, तो जब लास्ट की जो एंडिंग थी जिसमें लायन मर जाता है, तो एज अ पर्सन हु आल्सो वाज रीडिंग वन ऑफ द फोक टेल्स दैट मदर वाज टेलिंग इन द स्टोरी, जिसमें वो बताते हैं कि टोटोइस को उसके जो क्रैक्ड शेल्स हैं वो कैसे मिले। एट वन लेवल आई वाज क्वेश्चनिंग कि क्या लायन को मरना जरूरी था, क्योंकि मैंने वो स्टोरी सुनी थी टॉर्टोइस वाली इन द नॉवल, तो मुझे लगा जब हम एक स्टोरी बनाते हैं तो इज वायलेंस ऑलवेज नेसेसरी? डज अ पर्सन नीड टू रियली डाई? एंड एट अनदर लेवल आई वाज आल्सो थिंकिंग अबाउट माय लेसन प्लान कि ओके, forget about assessment, forget about question answers. Can you use your learning through this course to actually bring alive the folk tale, which becomes which is at the heart of the storytelling, which tells you why Chinua Achebe relates folktale with mothers and stories of warriors and manlyhood with men. So, and that's my takeaway from this course, in the sense that I'm keeping alive that teacher in me, the teacher that really wants to continue to teach, not because I have to get students to this level of performance or that level of performance, but to actually use stories to make them question. And जैसे कृष्ण कुमार की एक बहुत famous book है, Pedagog's Romance. So how to keep that romance alive for me as a teacher so that I can also pass it on to my kids. Yeah. So thank you so much, Ankit, and everyone here. What a wonderful array of stories. I mean, चाहे वो गुडगु हो गया, चाहे वो गधुआ हो गया, चाहे वो पुण्यकोटि हो गया, बहुत मजा आया, बहुत मजा आया. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Disha. And it's also reminding us that even though we are hearing about the mentors who are present here, a lot of mentors have shaped your mentors. And we also are remembering them and thanking them. I think one name is very prominent there, Professor Padma Sarangapani. She is the one who has supported my own learning of storytelling, both with inspiration, guidance, but also with resources. I received the scholarships to, go and study storytelling because of her. This course was seeded by her The first run of the course was supported by this Center of Excellence in Teacher Education. So I just want to thank Professor Padma, if someday she's listening to this. It's because of you that so much of the vision of teachers feeling proud of their work has come true. So also thanking, we don't, we give a certificate, but we don't believe in certificate. Things like storytelling, who can give a certificate to whom? Like it's like a certificate for singing or for cricket. If you can play, you have a certificate in cricket, and if you can sing, you have a certificate in songs. So I think as long as you can listen to people and tell a story, you do have a certificate in storytelling. So now that so many of us have listened to stories and have told stories, um, by the power vested in me, by all the storytellers who have come before us and who have kept this world alive with stories, I declare all of us storytellers. And by now, of course, you'll also receive a formal certificate, but just wishing that you'll go out in the world and tell stories without this hesitation, without this self doubt, without any perfection, as long as you are perfectish. And I would continue our conversations with people who want to speak more. Just this reminder that this is only the first step. This is just the starting of your storytelling. So please continue to tell stories to your children, to your neighbors, to children everywhere, and to grown-ups everywhere. Let me come back to Rasika Preeti, Priya, and first Anvesha. Anvesha? We'll try to keep it brief so that we can listen to some audience as well.
पहली बात तो अब सेटल हो गया है थोड़ा सा जो भी फीलिंग थी इतने दिनों से, तो अब मैं मतलब बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ जो मेरे मेंटर्स हैं। जो भी अच्छा था वो मेरे गुरुजी का जो भी गलती थी वो मेरी मतलब और मैं ऐसे सोच रही थी कि मैं किसको किसको शुक्रिया अदा करूंगी, क्योंकि मैंने अपने जीवन में ये एक बात जानी है कि सिर्फ सर कोर्स करा रहे हैं तो इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि मैंने सर से ही सीखा है। अगर मैंने 80% सर से सीखा है तो जो 20% मेरे क्लासमेट्स हैं जो सवाल पूछ रहे हैं या जो जो बहुत एक्सप्रेसिव हैं और जो हेजिटेट नहीं कर रहे हैं मेरी तरह, उनसे उनके कारण बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला। और स्पेशल स्पेशल थैंक्स टू स्वाति जी कि उन्होंने इतने प्यार से मेरी कहानी सुनी थी, मेरा मनोबल बढ़ाया हर बार हर शाम को, तो उनका शुक्रिया। और इसी से मुझे अभी जो आपने बात कही पद्मा सारंगपानी जी का, कि मुझे वो बहुत ऐसे लगी कि मैं उनसे कभी नहीं मिली, मैंने उनको देखा नहीं है लाइव, बट उनका जो भी काम रहा है आपको सिखाने के प्रति, डीएलएड का कोर्स बनाने के प्रति, उसने पूरी मेरी ऐसे दुनिया देखने की सब पूरी दृष्टि बदल दी। मतलब 12th के बाद जो अन्वेषा थी और अब 5 साल बाद जो हूँ मैं, वो बिल्कुल अलग लोग हैं। तो कभी कभी लगता है कि मतलब जो लोग मतलब हमारे सामने ऐसे एविडेंटली नहीं है, बट स्टिल उनकी लर्निंग्स कितने डीपली अफेक्ट करती हैं हमें। जैसे आज जो कहानियां भी सुनी हमने, वो कहानियां जिन्होंने लिखी होगी, जिन्होंने सोची, जिन्होंने मॉडिफाई की, वो सब मतलब बहुत कुछ है, मैं समेट नहीं सकती। और मैं इसलिए और ज्यादा मतलब सर को थैंक यू बोलना चाहती थी, क्योंकि सर के मम्मी पापा भी हैं और सर के परिवार के लोग भी हैं, तो परिवार के लोगों के आगे थोड़ा वैलिडेट होना अच्छा लगता है कि देखो मैंने सिखाया देखो मैं ये भी कर सकती हूँ या कर सकता हूँ। तो थैंक यू सो मच, मतलब बहुत शुक्रिया आपका।
Thank you, Anvesha. Priya.
So I think I want to specifically thank two people here. अन्वेषा को शायद याद नहीं होगा, बट एक सेशन में आपने हमें ब्रेकआउट रूम में डाला था जहाँ पे हमें where we failed to be a hero और where we fell from heaven, उन themes पे हमें story शेयर करनी थी। And I've never been someone who shares my work in a narrated format. And मुझे पता नहीं अन्वेषा को याद है कि नहीं, but when I narrated that story, she gave me such positive feedback कि मुझे लगा कि भाई इतनी भी बुरी नहीं हूँ मैं, I can do this. and she gives herself very less credit, on this platform. So Anvesha, I want to tell you कि भाई आपने मुझे भी इंस्पायर किया है, भले ही आपको याद हो ना हो, but सॉरी, पापा शंख बजाते हैं रोज शाम को पूजा के वक्त. And also, Prachi, I know you didn't get a chance to, like prepare and share a story, but I think you have so actively been involved in the whole process कि आप जिस तरीके से सबको इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं, अप्रिशिएट कर रहे हैं, I really want to thank you for, actually taking up even this segment and being a part of today's performance. So thank you. And of course, Ankit, I know we, like हम बहुत casually बोलते हैं Ankit, but you've been like a big mentor, a big source of inspiration for all of us. And it's I think a lot of us will say that we've seen so much change in us as people over the course of these 3 months. Like a lot of people, I was not sure कि वक्त निकलेगा नहीं निकलेगा, स्कूल के साथ साथ, PhD के साथ साथ. But I think the very fact that, you were there, having those sessions for us, and, the flexibility of attending out of those 3 sessions, any sessions, and every group, no matter which group you attend, wahi support, wahi motivation, that encouragement. So genuinely, thank you. Thank you for keeping this space open for all of us.
Thank you, Priya. Rasika Preeti.
So sorry, I'm taking a little more time because that time I was like really on my nerves. So I don't settle to speak. When I joined the whole thing, Sharmila introduced me to this whole program. So really grateful to her to do that. And I thought I was just learning to how to tell stories better. Because as a homeschooler myself and as a mother, stories have been there for everything. Difficult questions, खाना खिलाना हो, काम करवाना हो, हर चीज के लिए I've used stories, and that has got my work done. Also, the story, The Mountain and the Bird, when I first read it, it was just a beautiful story for me. But in this journey, when I was preparing this story, today also I learned something new from this story. And that was like sometimes the one breaking your heart again and again is also the one healing it, is also the one transforming it. And that was great. Thank you, Ankit, for giving this the way with which it was so structured. Because in the beginning I was thinking क्या कर रहे हैं, letters क्यों लिखवा रहे हैं, ये सब क्या करवा रहे हैं, ये क्या meditation करवा रहे हैं. I'm like मैं रात को जाग रही हूँ इस चीज के लिए. ये क्यों करवा रहे, स्टोरी टेलिंग कब शुरू होगी. And then when we say the story we realize कि वो हर एक चीज add की है. The whole journey was a transformation. And I don't think storytelling is just for others. I think storytelling is for you. When you tell, it's confirming and going deeper and deeper within you. So for that, I want to sincerely thank you, Ankit. Thank you for creating this space where we didn't just learn the techniques or how to perform. You taught us to listen more deeply, to feel more honestly, and to trust the story that chose us. And the journey in itself has been just a beautiful reminder that stories have power to heal. So thank you. And one, like, other than one timing thing that you have 6:32 and but I also have learned punctuality from you. None of the core session ever was delayed. It was like on time. So that made us very much on time because we know Ankit is going to start on time, end on time. So thank you. Thank you for teaching us more than just storytelling. Thank you.
Thank you, Rasika. And we'll continue to hear Prachi, then Roshali, and then Harsha.
I just wanted to take a moment to share how this whole course fell into my lap, literally. I don't usually scroll WhatsApp stories. And that day, somehow, I was scrolling WhatsApp stories and I saw Sunanda ma'am post something. And when she posts something, I'm like, okay, this is something. So I just took a screenshot of it. I shared it to her. I said, ma'am, can you just tell me a little bit more about what this is? And she just quickly sent the Insta link. And that's how I immediately enrolled for that first session that you had, Ankit, the introductory one. And then post that, he said he's going to start one soon. And I was like, wow, this is just amazing. This was like the universe is just conspiring to make things happen for you. But yeah, like everyone said, it's not just about storytelling. It's also about how we have just shifted a perspective in terms of thinking. I think in my letter that I wrote to Ankit, I've written that, for me, everything was black and white. And my husband always says, Prachi, there's also gray. And I'm like, no, gray nahi hota hai. Idhar ya idhar. Beech mein kya hota hai? Beech mein kuch nahi hota hai. And through this course, I've understood that there's more gray and it's just different perspectives. So that's about it. Of course, it's not sunken very well and deep yet, but yes, it's no more black and white for me. There is now an option of gray. And thanks to Ankit for this, I think this whole shift in the thought process is something that is a biggest takeaway for me from this whole session. And of course, knowing myself a little bit more better. So thank you so much, Ankit, for whoever you are and whatever you are doing.
Thank you, Prachi and Rishali, then Harsha. And after Harsha, we'll be concluding the evening.
आई मीन जब आज एक चांस मिला कि ऑस्कर स्पीच टाइप में कुछ बोलना है और मैंने इतना कुछ सोचा था और इतना कुछ मेरे दिमाग में चल रहा था, फिर मैंने बहुत छोटा सा सोचा कि मेरे को बोलना चाहिए बिकॉज और लोगों के पास भी हमें जाना है. बट वन थिंग दैट जो मुझे अंदर से अभी बहुत फील हो रहा है कि आई वुड मिस दिस सेशंस बिकॉज इतना कुछ चल रहा होता है जीवन के अंदर, इतना ओवरवेलमिंग चीजें हो जाती है. एंड देन मैं अपनी मदर से बात कर रही थी कुछ समय पहले कि मैं भागते दौड़ते लुढ़कते पुढ़कते जैसे घर पहुंचती हूँ और 6:30 बजे सेशन ऑन करके बैठती हूँ और उसके बाद मैं सब भूल जाती हूँ कि मेरे जीवन में क्या चल रहा है, मुझे क्या परेशानी है, मैं क्या सोच रही हूँ या मुझे क्या करना है, मुझे क्या नहीं करना है, सब भूल के सिर्फ यहाँ पर. और वो जो 2 मिनट आप लेते हैं शुरू के कि सब कुछ भुला दीजिए और सिर्फ यहाँ पर रहिए, तो आई मीन इट एक्चुअली मैटर टू मी अ लॉट. प्लस मैंने सुनना सीखा. मुझे हमेशा मेरे लाइक अभी किसी ने तो कहानी सुनाई ना ओवर थिंकिंग वाली, अन्वेषा, यस, कि वो एक ओवर थिंकिंग दिमाग है मेरे पास जो हमेशा सोचता रहता है और बहुत सोचता रहता है और मुझे सिर्फ लगता है कि अरे इस पे भी मेरे पास कुछ बोलने के लिए है, इस पे भी मेरे पास कुछ बोलने के लिए है, मैं यहाँ से वहां, वहां से वहां, वहां से वहां पहुंच जाती हूँ. बट ये कुछ हफ्तों में मैंने सीखा कि सुनना कितना जरूरी है और सुन के समेटना और उसमें रहना कितना जरूरी है. कई बार हाँ मैं थोड़ा एंथुजियाज्म मेरा निकल आता है तो मैं बोल देती हूँ बहुत सारी चीजें. और फिर मैंने बहुत सारे सेशंस में ये भी सीखा कि सुनो, ठहरो, समझो. तो आई वुड रियली मिस दिस सेशंस एंड आई होप दैट आई कंटिन्यू टेलिंग स्टोरीज बिकॉज मेरे को पढ़ना बहुत पसंद है, मुझे सुनना बहुत पसंद है. मेरे को लगता है बस बैठ जाओ मेरे साथ और मुझे बताते रहो, मुझे बातें सुनाते रहो और बहुत बातें करना भी. मेरे कुछ दोस्त आए थे आज, शायद एक तो अब हाँ छोड़ दिया इन्होंने सेशन, बट एक है जिनको मैं घंटों अपनी बातें बताती हूँ और वो पेशेंटली सुनते हैं मेरी बातें. सो शाउट आउट टू देम एज वेल कि बिकॉज दे गिव मी सेफ स्पेस टू टॉक अबाउट थिंग्स. सो आई कुड रियली डू दिस टुडे. अदरवाइज I have a very bad stage fright. Although I have been on stage so many times, I'm always shivering and shaking and forgetting things. So, but yeah, thank you everyone who's been there for me in this journey. And I just wanted to thank you again, them all.
Harsha?
I still don't know how I came across this course, Ankit. I'm trying to backtrack, but I have no idea how I stumbled upon this course. And I didn't join it this time. I joined the last time. And there are a few things that was happening, and I just couldn't do the course. I think I just attended one session. And this time when it happened, I said, no matter what, I will attend this. I had no particular takeaways, but because I enrolled, I just wanted to stay committed that I complete this course no matter what. And the first session is all about being vulnerable. And I also learned that there are a lot of creative people, a lot of teachers, and I felt out of place. What am I even doing here? Is this meant for me? And session 2 onwards, how you created a community where it never felt like anybody's out of place. Every breakout room, everybody could speak out very free, and these were very deep topics you gave us. They were not easy topics. They make us reflect a lot. Simple things started changing in my life. You said, walk, observe, move on. Observe, move on. That shifted a lot in me. With everything that I do, with my kids, with work, with everything that I did, I could pause and I could absorb. It helped me reflect and look at things in a very, very different way. I particularly remember one activity that had a big impact on me, where you helped us close our eyes and think about our life in 80s, 60s, 40s, 20s, kid, even before you're born. That was very deep. That is very deep. The way you look at life after such a activity is very different. So while I thought I would be able to tell better stories, now if I say tell my kids I want to tell stories, they run further away from me because I am dramatic now. So, but I'm sure I'll work on it and be a storyteller-ish person soon. But the whole course for me has been extremely, extremely good because it was a journey within myself. And I also observed that what you're doing is not only this, but you're mentoring and molding a group of teachers who shape the generation ahead, right? And all the people here are people who don't look at teaching as just an ordinary profession. They look at teaching as a way they can change people's lives. None of these teachers I came across just do it for the sake of teaching. It means a lot to them. They're giving their everything to these kids, which means they will shape a brighter future. And even if it's a small community, it will grow, and you are shaping that future, Ankit. So I'm so grateful that you're doing this, and so grateful to all of those people who are so involved in this process, and through storytelling, making that difference. So very, very glad I did this session, and I'm very happy to be part of this community.
Thank you. This is a question we often get asked, like, why all this into storytelling? I was like, if you run a course on loving, I don't think people will understand it. So we just use storytelling as a way to bring people together. But yeah, the course is a lot about loving your work, loving yourself, reviving the love that we had for community. And this community is a word that we keep coming back to because we crave it so much, isn't it? We all want to be seen and heard, and magic is not given in the world for some people to experience magic, others have to create it. And so I'm just looking for more people like us to be creators of those magic for more people who will experience that future. And you are also playing a part by being a part of this course, by spreading word about it. In fact, even in this event today and yesterday, we have raised money for 5 scholarships. Imagine that enables 5 more people to do the course with the affordability that they have. We continue to keep our course in a flexible way. People pay what they can, and this enables us to bring the kind of people that come here, because if we just increase our fee, we won't have the same group that has come here, and we value this a lot. And so thank you all of you who have, as audience, as participants, who are helping us sustain this. Keep it small, keep it beautiful. I've also noted that someone, I just want to give a chance to the audience to speak as well. I'll come to you, Pravina, very shortly. I've heard that Lavanya is also here. Lavanya, who knows Pravina. So Lavanya, I would love to hear from you. Would you like to speak? And as she's taking a while, I'll just come to Pravina first, and then I'll be coming to Lavanya.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming that this is going to, kind of end. May not be perfect, it's like not the dead end, but we will be missing these sessions. I was introduced by Soumya ma'am, my son's class teacher. And while joining, I was not at all sure what I'm going to learn. But I know the storytelling is a way of connecting with children. So I have enrolled for it. And when this course started, we shifted from Andhra to Tamil Nadu. So I have been facing a lot of challenges handling my kids, also with that, transition of cultural and language challenges. But this course made me keep alive. And yeah, Lavanya is my bestie. I have sent a lot of voice notes and she knew how excited I felt all through this journey. I think I have sent voice note after every session, and she was very happy for me that I have found something so connecting. And thank you, Ankit. Thank you very much. And yeah, and one more thing I just wanted to share. I have got the chance to be a naughty little boy while narrating this story. But all my co-learners have put in a lot of effort in bringing so many emotions so beautifully. And I really wanted to, congratulate them. And I'm so happy it came out so well. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Thank you. And Lavanya, if you're here,
Yes.
would you like to speak to your bestie?
Yeah, definitely. So I think our journey with Praveena started with storytellings. I think we were sharing our lives, and that's how we met through one of the courses we took together, a personal development course. So that's where we started sharing each other's stories every day, a bit by bit, and it was a 3 months kind of a project for both of us. So from then we've been, constantly studying and constantly getting over our lives and learning every day and through each other's stories and tales. Like we don't speak much, but the voice notes gets us reaching to each other, and whenever we find times, we listen to it, we reply to each other. And I think this course came at a very good time for her. I mean, she was waiting to do something, and it interested her. And I remember, and she was like, this is course, I think I should take it. And she was deciding, and she went on this journey. And every day I could see she was learning something new. She was very excited, meeting everyone and sharing. And I was the person, I think you had an activity that you had to share the personal story that they had with a friend or a family member. So I was fortunate enough to, kind of be that person to listen. And I was very impressed. Oh God. She was the structure, the way she was narrated the story. I just told her I felt like I was in a TED talk, just having that curiosity, like suspense maintained, and the pause and everything was so perfect. And I'm glad she spoke to you today. I think yesterday she was a bit, feeling like, no, I didn't do it my best, she was feeling. And I had paid to listen to her, and due to some work reasons I missed. And I was like, no, today I'll log in and listen to other stories. And she was like, yeah, my colleagues have some beautiful stories lined up, please listen to it too. So yeah, kind of want to request a selfish request, like if you get a recording, so I would be happy to listen to. But I always believe like there is a reason for everything. So maybe yesterday I couldn't log in, maybe it was a reason that she had to do it on her own, kind of a thing. And I was very proud of her journey. And yeah, all the stories were amazing, and it's an amazing course.
Thank you.
And I can't thank enough for showing up for me and my co-learners. Thank you very much.
Yes, definitely.
Receiving the love vicariously, and it brings us great joy to listen that somebody records a voice note and somebody has a friend to whom they can record a voice note after every session. I think that's a beautiful thing that you two have, and thank you for sharing.
We both live in different parts of India. So she is in Bangalore and I keep moving. So we rarely meet each other. So yeah, there is no option, but we show up for everything for each other.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you
that.
so much.
And I listened to Deepti and Iker, and I understand this part about moving, Pravina. When this course started, we were in Hyderabad. Then 2 weeks we were in Gujarat, and then 2 weeks we were in Lalitpur, my hometown, and then since then we are in Goa. And every session requires us also moving and all of this, moving away from friends and managing the logistics. So get that part completely. I'll listen to Deepti and Iker, and that will be the end of our evening. Deepti and then Iker.
I just had a question. How are we going ahead? Matlab, how is this community be alive? Any plans and just that, yeah.
All the plans that we'll make together. I think there is nothing given in this community. We create the things that we want. So if you want to figure out a way for us to meet often, keep in touch, perform more, please propose and make it happen. This community has about 300 to 400 people now, spread across India, some spread across the world. And it is upon us to keep this alive for us. And for now, I think we should just swim in this feeling of that we have been able to get through this. And tomorrow is a peer learning session, and the session is on saying goodbyes. And so perhaps that will also bring a little bit of closure, and we'll come again as mentors in the future. We'll perhaps look for residencies, and perhaps peer learning sessions in some form or the other will continue to come when we can come back. So yeah. Thank you for that, Deepti.
Is the peer learning thing like going on? Do you have a plan of?
Tomorrow is the last session for that, and after that we sit back and see what we have been able to do, and then we think about its future. Iker.
I don't know what to say. I just wanted to say that this last week it's been quite a lot of movement in my life. I was supposed to go on a week of traveling with a bike. Then I'm moving from my house this month. So a lot of changes. And I want to say thank you for all the people that share some stories, because some of those stories were very helpful of giving some light in these aspects of life. For example, like about confusion and what or how can one handle these things in life. So thank you for the stories. And also I was wondering if these stories will have this continuation, because I think they can be really, really helpful for people. And that's all. Thank you, Ankit. And I'm very happy to have joined.
Thank you. It's a lot of love that's hard to put into words and very hard to contain. So let's swim in it and let's live in it. And with that, I'll slowly take us to the end of the evening. Thank you, Iker. Thank you, Deepti. Thank you, Pravina. Thank you, Harsha. Thank you, Roshali. Thank you, Prachi. Thank you, Rasika Preeti. Thank you, Priya. Thank you, Anvesha. Thank you, Disha. Thank you, Anshu. Thank you, Shalu. Thank you, Seema. Thank you, Dimple. Thank you, Mansi, Sarvika. Thank you, Swati. Thank you, Sharmila. Thank you, Lavanya. Thank you, Yashas. Thank you, Pranali. Thank you, one with the iPhone. Thank you, Nakib. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you, Malati. Thank you, Athira. Thank you, Sanika. Thank you, Tanvi. Thank you, Mukti. Thank you, Soumya. Thank you, Mansi. Thank you, Madhulika. Thank you, Surbhi. Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you, Sujata. Thank you, Dolly. Thank you, Purnima. Thank you, Natraj. And thank you all those who joined us for a while or for long. Thank you all those who could not tell a story today and who worked in the interest of others and were here as an audience. And you're waiting for a day when you'll also tell a story. Thanking all of you.